It's another beautiful June morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, the 3rd of June. Welcome to Breakfast with Roger and Friends. And that includes Teri Chamberlain. Good morning, Teri. Good
morning.
to see you this morning. Dave Poehls is here, and he set a record. He got here before the start of the show.
I did, and I'll tell you what, we're in the parking lot, and Terry's racing in. I said, Terry, leave me. If I'm in the door before you are, you got a problem. But here we are.
And here we are.
Yes.
Well, it's a little reminder, miracles do happen.
Yeah, that's absolutely. It's a June miracle.
Yeah. And Tyrus was here very early, as a matter of fact. I caught him sleeping in the lobby, so I knew he had probably spent the night here. Good morning, Tyrus.
Good morning.
You know, that does raise the question, boys and girls. They say people are night people or day people.
Uh-huh.
And I know you're a night person, aren't you?
Yep.
What would you describe yourself as, Dave?
I used to be, but I'll tell you what, if it's 8 o'clock, that's one thing, when it's winter and it's dark early, I feel this is great. 7 p.m., you don't feel guilty about going to bed. So I would definitely say I'm a morning person.
You are a morning person, yeah. I'd never know it, but I'll take your word for
there are
it.
many tasks to accomplish.
I don't want to get too personal,
there are many things to do. It's.
You are a morning person.
I'm always
huh?
awake. I probably ought to get going.
Yeah. How about you, Tyrus? You a night person, or?
I would say.
Yeah.
Because I've been a night person for a while, but I would say my job, at one point made me
a morning person.
I'm now a morning person. I would say.
Have you ever been, since you started working at St. Francis? I think that is the term transportation orderly. Is that what official title do they give you?
Well, but I would say transport lift team specialist is what it is.
Okay, I like the title. Have you ever been late for work?
No, I've made it.
Okay,
I made it.
How about you?
How
about you, Dave? No. Okay. Terry?
I take the 5th.
Okay.
Yes, I was going to say that was actually my answer too. But
to tell you the truth, in working in broadcasting, I've never been late. Ever. Well, you can't be, because when you're going to be on at 6 o'clock, you got to be here. And if you're not here, particularly in this situation, because I control all the buttons to put the program on the air, if I'm not here,
exactly.
It's they continue to play that weird music from wherever they play. What weird city? No, I think it's out of New Orleans.
we don't have a live orchestra.
No,
we did.
for that matter.
Where are they?
But one morning, when I used to live in Wardcliff, and the station we were on was WOM, which was on Meadowbrook, I forgot my glasses. And I thought that was a major catastrophe. But I lived like 2 miles away, so I jumped the car, ran home, got them back. Came in just about the time that I was supposed to play the theme. And Royce was there, which was unusual. And because he definitely is a night person, and I understand that. He's an entertainer, and most of the shows that he did were late at night or in the evening, for that matter. I'll tell you a quick story. We used to be on 94. We were on a lot of radio stations. We were on FM 94.7, and the studio was in the basement of the Pabst building in Peoria Heights. And he was usually. And it was kind of spooky going into the building. The doors squeaked and made funny noises, and the elevator had a weird sound about it. And I was always there first in the morning. Well, one morning, he beat me, and I didn't know it. And I got off the elevator, and he jumped out at me. And I tell you what, every organ on my body went into high gear, scared the living daylights out of me. And I said, you know what? And he laughed and laughed. And it reminded me when I was on guard duty at Fort Bliss, when I was in the service, that I forget the rotation. It was like on 2 hours and off 2 hours, something like that. And I had a transistor radio and with an earplug. And when I was on guard duty, I would listen to late night radio, which was really neat in El Paso, Texas. And one of my buddies said when I got off, he said, could I use your transistor radio to kind of entertain me in the middle of the night? I said, yeah, but make sure you get back in time, which he had no control over, so I can get it when I go. Well, he didn't get back in time, so the truck picked me up and the other guys and dropped me off in this dark building. And there was a light on in the front of the building, but not on the dark side. And I came around the corner, and this buddy of mine jumped out and scared the living. My M1 almost went over my shoulder. And I told him, I said, it's a good thing we didn't have shells in the gun, because you would be dead. And he laughed and laughed. Why is it people get a, what do they call it, a vicarious thrill out of scaring people?
I know.
It is something else. Anyway, so much for the personal stories. A lot of news to report this morning, so let's do what we do every morning, is bring you the most comprehensive news in Peoria Radio. As we usually do, we'll start with a look at the weather, and it is brought to you by our friends at Hines Roofing. Doug Hines is the owner, really a neat guy, and he's been around helping people with their roofs, either repairing or replacing them for over 33 years. For a no-obligation inspection of your roof, which is a heck of a deal, you can call Hines Roofing at 309-672-0910. It's going to be another sunny and pleasant day today, warming up to 86 degrees, the overnight low tonight, 60 tomorrow, sunny and warmer, a high of 88, and Friday partly sunny. Look for afternoon showers, badly needed showers, starting Friday afternoon and continuing overnight, the high on Friday 86. Friday night showers, Saturday showers with a high of 88, and Saturday night showers, and Sunday more possible rain and a high of 89. Currently our temperature 54 degrees, and that's your live weather. Now the news, and Dave, you have our lead story this morning.
Morning, everybody. They're still talking about a ceasefire between Iran and the United States, but you'd never know it. Both countries traded military action, with Iran coming out on the short end. The Iranians launched a series of drones at U.S. bases in Kuwait and Bahrain. All were destroyed. Different story as U.S. airstrikes did heavy damage on the Iranian-controlled island of Kisham. U.S. forces also hit an oil tanker that ignored warnings as it headed for an Iranian port. It was disabled by a U.S. missile to the engine room.
In this country, voters went to the polls yesterday in 6 states, including Iowa and California. Lots of interest in the race for mayor of Los Angeles and governor in California. Republicans are hoping Steve Hilton will be among the top 2 finishers, who will then be on the November ballot. The contest for L.A. mayor pitted Spencer Pratt of TV fame against incumbent Karen Bass. Here's what we have in the way of results this morning. For governor, in November, it'll be Republican Steve Hilton versus Democrat Javier Becerra. In the race for Los Angeles mayor, Karen Bass, the incumbent, faces Spencer Pratt.
And the Peoria County Sheriff's Department reports the arrest of 44-year-old Josh Coates, also known as Dennis Walker, after he was accused of impersonating a deputy sheriff. Walker allegedly stopped a vehicle last month on Plank Road, not far from the county jail. His vehicle had red and blue blinking lights. Wearing all dark apparel, he demanded the victim's driver's license and then said it was outdated and tore it up. The victim said he would notify the sheriff's department, which prompted Walker to drive away. He was arrested later by the real police.
You know, it's tough to tear up a driver's license because they're laminated. The old ones you could, but you can't just tear up a new one.
I really don't carry scissors with me whenever I drive. Do you?
Not usually.
No.
But weird things are happening by weird people today.
You got that right.
That's very true. The quiet central Illinois town of Deer Creek was alive with police activity yesterday afternoon. Speaking of, that was around 1:30. A man was taken into custody after threatening his mother with a knife. When Tazewell County deputies arrived on the scene, the man refused to come out of the house, but eventually surrendered. He faces a number of charges.
It was a well-intentioned good idea by President Trump, but the proposed anti-weaponization fund is now dead. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanke told House members that the Justice Department will not move forward with such a fund. Trump wanted to provide money for Republicans who were jailed for demonstrating in the Capitol on January 6, 2021.
Yeah, that is a wild story. And boy, did they come out of the woodwork on both sides of the political aisle over that one. So nice try, Don, but you lost that one.
However, many Republicans were opposed to the $1.8 billion measure, as were all congressional Democrats. Well, he got them to pull together on something.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So that means it is possible. And so is U.S. District Judge Leonie Brinkema in Virginia. He slapped a temporary restraining order that blocked using the fund. A Democrat, Brinkema was appointed by President Clinton.
A federal grand jury in North Carolina has indicted former FBI Director James Comey on 2 charges threatening the life of President Donald Trump for allegedly arranging a group of seashells with the symbols 8647. The number of 86 is representative of removing or eliminating a person, and many believe 47 relates to Trump as the 47th President of the United States. Jurors decided Comey, who has a strong dislike for Trump, was pushing for the demise of the president.
The subject has received new interest after Democrat Judge Randy Moss told the National Park Service it could not remove a flag with the same message installed near the National Mall by a hate group. Conservatives have been urged to plant a flag with 86 moss next to the 8647.
And so it continues. There was a report that California Governor Gavin Newsom diverted money appropriated to help victims of the 2025 wildfires to fighting ICE agents. Newsom has received criticism along with Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass for slow-walking reconstruction. Newsom used more than $14 million to pay for crowd control and anti-ICE riots.
You know, there was a time I thought you could not transpose or move money from one fund to another. I could give you an example. A local hospital, one of the administrators took money out of the foundation to cover certain operational expenses, and that is considered illegal. And but apparently, a well-known university president, we won't say where, was charged with doing the same thing. And that's supposed to be illegal. In both cases, nobody was prosecuted. So apparently, in California, you can do that.
Seems like you can do a lot of things in California.
Yeah, typically if you don't get caught doing it. And that's the news this morning.
That is.
And let's get some news from WCBU, brought to you by Spoon River Home Health. Bridging the gap in healthcare. They've been around helping people since 1993 in their homes, caring for people of all ages, where recovery and healing faster and more comfortable. You can learn more from Spoon River by calling 309-245-0723. That number, again, 245-0723.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Rich Drager. It was once again a late night, passing a $56 billion state budget this week after lawmakers missed the midnight May 31st deadline. The budget then required a 2/3 majority to pass. Republican State Representative Ryan Spain says he had good talks with Democrats, but there were still last-minute amendments that Republicans did not have enough time to properly read.
We've had much better communication this session about the contours of the budget, and I hope it leads to better conversations.
The budget passed largely along party lines. State lawmakers ended their spring legislative session without delivering anything to keep the Chicago Bears in Illinois. Mawa Iqbal reports from Springfield.
It was a chaotic and bitter end to a 3-year legislative push by the Bears. After floating Hammond as a potential site for a new domed stadium, the team will now have to make clear whether that's a real possibility or a bluff. The Senate and House couldn't agree on a package to entice the Bears to build in Arlington Heights. Here's House Speaker Chris Welch.
We'll continue discussions on a number of issues, including our approach to the Bears Stadium question this summer.
The Bears sounded none too happy at that, saying it would stick to its own timeline and make a decision on where to build by early summer. I'm Mawa Iqbal.
Farmers in the U.S. face one of the highest suicide rates of any occupation. The Farm Family Resource Initiative from Southern Illinois University is offering individual counseling and support groups for farmers and their families. Mental health specialist Rachel Brown says people who are seeking support can connect with qualified professionals.
These professionals who are trained in mental health, but they also understand agriculture and they understand farming.
The statewide initiative also includes a 24/7 crisis helpline. The number connects farmers and their families with agriculture-related resources in their area and no-cost counseling sessions. From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Rich Drager.
You know, thanks, Rich. Farmers are really transitioned and changed over the years. And it's such a great joy, as we did this week, talking with our unofficial official farm advisor, John Cross, down in Emden, Illinois. Because I can remember, when they were plowing the fields with I'm not going to say with a horse and by hand, but back in the day when it was a tractor and the farmer was sitting and on his tractor going back and forth. Now today you see them in air-conditioned tractors, and they've got all this sophisticated equipment in the cabin, including a TV and a monitor, but they pay out the nose for this technology, but it's a lot different. Now that doesn't take away from their hard work, but they don't sweat like they used to because the cabin is air conditioned, and they have to pay attention to the commodities, when to sell their grain, their corn or their beans or whatever the case may be. And it's just and that's one of the reasons I think some farmers are agreeing to sell or lease their land for these solar panels or windmills of time, so to speak. So, boy, farming has become more demanding, and educationally speaking, John is a graduate of Illinois State University, so has a college degrees. How many farmers years ago graduated from college? Many of them were, as is John, evolved from their father, who evolved from their father, for generations for that matter. Anyway, good report from WCBU, and let's turn to Tyrus with the latest in the world of sports. Good morning, Tyrus.
Let's start with the Peoria sports news. The Peoria Chiefs at 25-27 play today at 6:35 p.m. versus Beloit Sky Carp, affiliate with the Miami Marlins. It is game 2 of their 6-game home series. You can also bring your dog to this game or tomorrow's game.
Isn't that early for dog days of summer?
Dogs get to run the bases.
Yeah.
Just make sure they don't stop at second or third.
Yeah. Well, they might. So
yeah, I know.
Get the cleanup crew.
Get the cleanup crew.
That's right. So today and tomorrow for your pup to run around the ballpark, I guess. All right. MLB news: the Cubs at 32-29 lose to the A's 2-1. They look to tie the series up at 1 apiece with a win tonight at 7:05 p.m. The Cardinals at 31-28 lost last night 7-4, and will look to avoid the sweep at home at 6:45 p.m. Not good. We're not.
We don't like that.
No.
Tyrus, I need you to work on your sports report.
Right. A couple of wins in there. Yeah. White Sox at 32-29 lost to the Twins yesterday at 6-4. We'll look to avoid the sweep also today at 12:40 p.m. The Yankees at 36-24 lose 9-4 to the Guardians last night. Look to tie the series up at 1 tonight at 6:05 p.m. The Phillies 31-29 beat the Padres yesterday 3-2. And they're going to go for their series win tonight at 5:40 p.m. In the NHL, it's the Stanley Cup Finals between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Vegas Golden Knights. The Golden Knights took Game 1 yesterday by a score of 5-4. They play tomorrow at 7 p.m. NBA Finals, it starts tonight at 7:30. It's in San Antonio. The Spurs and the Knicks will play Game 1. And the WNBA, the Fever, are 4-4 and play the Atlanta Dream tomorrow at 6 p.m. Chicago Sky at 3-6 lost to the Washington Mystics last night, 90-72. Next game is Friday at 6:30 versus the Connecticut Sun. They got to get back on track. They started off good, and they've lost, let's see, like 5 in a row. So they're not playing their best right now. NFL news, big trade. I would say a win-win for both teams is between the Browns and the Rams. And the Browns traded Myles Garrett to the Rams for young star Jared Verse and a first-round pick in 2027, second rounder in 2028, and a third rounder in 2029. It's just kind of a shocker, but
Maybe
not
for
really.
you, but I've never heard of them. And
Yeah, well,
yeah.
the Rams got way better. He's probably one of the best defensive players in the NFL.
Well, I have to take your word for it.
Well, he just broke the sack record for single season
Well, whoopee.
and last season, but that's sports.
And that's sports. You know, it sounds like a fun night to bring your dog. I wouldn't dare bring my dog because, you know, you'd have to carry along your, you know, I'm not a big fan of plastic bags, but when it comes to purposes, that's a good one.
That would be a
You know,
ideal one.
because years ago when people walked their dogs, they didn't care.
No.
And they made their deposits wherever and whenever. But now I think most people, do they not carry, at least the ones I've noted, when they walk their dogs, they've got a bag in their back pocket and whip it out. But,
Most people,
yeah.
I would say,
A lot of
maybe.
places like parks have those little stands with the plastic bags you can pull.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does remind me of the joke that Royce used to tell about the two guys that hadn't seen each other for years since they graduated. And said, "What do you do?" And he said, "I work in the circus." He said, "What do you do?" I said, "A terrible job. I follow the elephants around, and I have to pick up after the elephants. It stinks. It's dirty. It's just absolutely terrible. I hate it." The guy said, "Why don't you quit?" And he said, "What? Get out of show business?" I don't know why it always sounded better when Royce wrote it than I do. All right, hey, we have the quiz. It's a Wednesday morning coming up, so put on your thinking caps. And Steve Shaw didn't join us last week. I think he's been up late at night studying to help us out on the quiz. In the meantime, we want to remind everybody, because it is Wednesday, our special guest will be Peoria attorney Kevin Sullivan. And we have a special guest by phone to talk about all these entertainers who suddenly decide they don't want to participate in the celebration of the 250th anniversary of the founding of this great country. And when did celebrating the United States of America become political? I don't understand the mentality that's going on for that matter. But any rate, in connection with that, we'll be talking with someone who has entertained and at the White House and at military bases and so forth, but we'll save that for a little later on in the program. I can't get over this beautiful weather. I was sitting on the patio yesterday afternoon, kind of enjoying life as it progresses around, and there was I was in the shade, and there was a nice breeze. It was warm. I don't know, what was the high yesterday? Did any of you watch the TV weather
86,
people
I
to
think. Yeah.
say what the high was? Well, maybe Kyle will give us some indication of it, but I thought, this is beautiful. I mean, I don't have to move to wherever for cool weather, northern Wisconsin, or you lived in Wisconsin during the summer. Were summer months relatively mild compared to Illinois?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. The townhouse I lived in just had a window air conditioner, and since it was a two-story, it was in the main bedroom upstairs. And of course, cold air drops, so
Yes,
that
right,
was the
yeah.
plan. But I rarely had to use it. And
No kidding.
I tell the story of one day somebody was talking about how humid it was, And I looked at her and I said, this is nothing.
Yeah.
Humid is when you can't dry yourself off after your shower because it's so humid. You just
No, and you're right. I remember I was in St. Louis for a conference when I was in the insurance industry, and I decided when it ended for the day, I thought, you know what? I'm just a walk from Busch Stadium. I think, and it was in August, by the way. Gives you an idea what it is.
yeah.
And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go over and take in a Cardinal baseball game. Well, that was back in the days when they had AstroTurf, and AstroTurf seemed to attract heat. And I had a great seat down the left field line, just a couple of rows from the field, and I could feel the heat off of the field. And I thought, if it's that hot for us sitting in the stands, what's it like for the ball players? Well, there's a couple of things. One, they're used to it, and two, they're all young kids. And while I wasn't a young kid, I was an old man back in those days. I love baseball, and I particularly love going to major league games, something I haven't done in years. And I got up and left in the fifth inning and went back to the hotel and watched it on television in my air-conditioned room.
That might have been the hottest place on earth, is the old Busch Stadium. Those arches, that it
Oh,
was
yeah.
literally like, let's
Yeah.
watch a game in the middle of a concrete parking lot, because that's
Yeah,
what it felt like.
and that's what you're right.
Yeah.
It was just,
I spent some.
it was stifling.
When I was a kid. Oh, it's hot. Anyway,
Yeah.
Well, that's who
Now-
you're sponsored by.
What?
Stifle. Well, aren't they like an eyeglass place or some Stifle or no?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
it's
know yeah, STIFEL or something
okay.
on their uniforms, right?
Yeah.
What do they do?
is that a law or
A law
Maybe.
firm?
it was very, very hot down there, all I know. But you're right, Wisconsin. I can remember being in northern Wisconsin in our family summer cabin, and the weather forecaster would say, oh, a heat wave. It's going to be it's just an unbearable heat wave, and it's a high of 83. I'm like, okay.
oh, that's a
Okay.
Yeah, they're not used to that.
banking company.
Yeah, I don't think there is a place that is hotter as an entertainment venue than Busch Stadium
I agree
or St. Louis for that matter.
It's very humid there.
Yeah, when it gets hot there.
Oh, it is atrocious. And even at night, as I personally experienced, it doesn't seem to abate. If it does, it's not noticeable in the human body for that matter. Well, at any rate, we've got the quiz coming up. In the meantime, we're at the bottom of the hour to update our news headline. At the bottom of the hour, brought to you by your hometown community banks division of Morton Community Bank. 50 branches, 50 locations in central Illinois to serve you. Look for the clock tower and you'll know they have time for you. Member FDIC. Here's Terry.
Well, they're still talking about a ceasefire between Iran and the United States, but you would never know it. Both countries traded military action, with Iran coming out on the short end. The Iranians launched a series of drones at U.S. bases in Kuwait and Bahrain. All were destroyed. Different story, as U.S. airstrikes did heavy damage on the Iranian-controlled island of Kishim. U.S. forces also hit an oil tanker that ignored warnings as it headed for an Iranian port. It was disabled by a U.S. missile to the engine room.
Why? I don't understand how those Iranians don't realize, of course, the ones that are giving the orders are in the comfort and safety of a bomb shelter, probably 2,000 feet underground, and say, okay, Eli, or whatever her name is, you're going to be in charge of that ship, and you're going to run the blockade, okay? And he's saying, why did I join?
Exactly.
In this country, voters went to the polls yesterday in 6 states, including Iowa and California. Lots of interest in the race for mayor of Los Angeles and governor of California. Republicans are hoping Steve Hilton will be among the top 2 finishers who will then be on the November ballot. The contest for LA mayor pitted Spencer Pratt of TV fame against incumbent Karen Bass. Here's what we have in the way of results this morning. For governor, in November, it will be Republican Steve Hilton versus Democrat Javier Becerra. In the race for Los Angeles mayor, Karen Bass, the incumbent, faces Spencer Pratt. They keep saying of TV fame and reality, blah, blah, blah. I've never heard of the person.
I haven't either. I don't. So, I guess we're not watching the right channel.
Apparently.
Well, you're watching Jeopardy, so I know why you miss it.
Yeah.
And I'm watching Andy Griffith, so there you go.
The Peoria County Sheriff's Department reports the arrest of 44-year-old Josh Coates, also known as Dennis Walker, after he was accused of impersonating a deputy sheriff. Walker allegedly stopped a vehicle last month on Plank Road, not far from the county jail. His vehicle had red and blue blinking lights. Wearing all dark apparel, he demanded the victim's driver's license and said it was outdated and tore it up. The victim said he would notify the sheriff's department, which prompted Walker to drive away. He was arrested later by the real police. The quiet central Illinois town of Deer Creek was alive with police activity yesterday afternoon around 1:30. A man was taken into custody after threatening his mother with a knife. When Tazewell County deputies arrived on the scene, the man refused to come out of the house, but eventually surrendered. He faces a number of charges. And the President Trump proposed anti-weaponization fund is now dead. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanke told House members that the Justice Department will not move forward with such a fund. Trump wanted to provide money for Republicans who were jailed for demonstrating in the Capitol January 6, 2021. But even some Republicans were opposed to the $1.8 billion measure, as were Democrats. So is U.S. District Judge Leonie Brinkema in Virginia. He issued a temporary restraining order that blocked the fund. Judge Brinkema was appointed by President Clinton. Well, he got him to pull together for something. That's a miracle in itself.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Those are the headlines, Roger.
All right, now a check of the weather brought to you by Advanced Medical Transport of Central Illinois. Since 1991, men and women of AMT have been saving lives with paramedics and emergency medical personnel. And, of course, as pointed out by Josh Bradshaw yesterday, was it yesterday he was on the show?
Yep.
Neat guy, serving 65 communities with 54,000 emergency calls a year. When seconds count on Advanced Medical Transport of Central Illinois. Dave, you have the weather.
I do have the weather, and as we wake up on our Wednesday, it's going to be sunny and pleasant, which quite ironically matches the people I'm here with, our friends in the studio today. They are sunny and pleasant also.
There you go.
And a high of 86. Overnight low of 60 degrees tonight. Tomorrow, sunny and warmer, a high of 88. So we're getting up there.
Yeah.
Friday, partly sunny. Look for some afternoon showers, a high of 86. Some rain moves in Friday night. And then Saturday night and Sunday, we look for a rainy, showery weekend, a high of 88, a high of 89 on Sunday. And currently, we're all the way up to 57 degrees on our way to just a gorgeous, gorgeous Wednesday afternoon. And that's our weather, everybody.
All right, it's a Wednesday morning, and the familiar sound of plink, plank, plunk in the background.
Is that what you call us? Plank and plunk?
Yeah, well, at least it's not Larry Curly or Moe, so that's an upgrade for that matter. Well, we have a wonderful, an absolutely wonderful quiz. I think some of the questions are relatively easy, which is easy for me to say because I see the answers. And I think we'll have some fun as we normally do. And the first question is, what is the smallest borough in New York City?
Would not be Queens?
Good guess, but incorrect.
Staten Island.
No. It's been in the news a lot on court cases.
Manhattan?
Manhattan is correct. Very good. What is the largest borough in New York City?
I'm going to go with Queens again.
And that is correct. Yeah.
I had to think about that. That was the one that came
Yeah,
to mind.
good job. How many Ringling Brothers of Ringling, Barnum, and Bailey Circus, how many Ringling Brothers were there?
5?
And how many in the studio really care?
That's true.
5 is incorrect.
Okay.
3.
That is incorrect.
4.
That is incorrect.
7.
7 is correct.
You know, Ringling Brothers, you ever been to Baraboo, Wisconsin? The
Oh,
Circus
absolutely, yeah.
World Museum.
We took the boys up
Love
there, our two
my
sons, and it was fascinating.
Yeah.
And didn't they go in the winter, though,
Florida.
down to
Florida.
Florida?
Yep,
Yeah.
they did.
was it Sarasota?
I'm thinking Sarasota. It seems to ring.
That's
ring a
what I
bell.
was thinking as well.
I think the museum's still there. It's
What do you
Calliope
think
Springs.
led to the demise of the circus?
Well,
And don't say PETA, because they were after him for years, mistreating,
I like pitas. Aren't those
elephants.
Lebanese food? No, that's not.
And then-
you know. Somebody said, where did the elephants go? And the answer is wherever they wanted to.
Wherever they want to go. That's right.
Yeah, which really wasn't true. But what do you think led to
I
it?
think
Just
they're expensive. Number one. I mean, certainly the animal issue is one.
To
of
do it
course.
right, yes.
But also just the logistics of putting it on, because you got a lot of things going at once.
are any of you, I know you are, Tyrus, old enough to remember when the circus came to town on the train in downtown Peoria, and
Brought
they
the elephants
unloaded the elephants and the animals and had them walk somewhere on the south side, I think. Did they? Where did they?
They toward the
where-
Civic Center, I think, didn't they? Is
Well,
that-
this was before the Civic
Oh.
Center,
You heard.
and I'm trying to think where the circus was held. To tell you
I
the
always
truth.
remember the Shrine Circus at Glen Oak Park.
Oh,
It was
yes,
always in early
yeah.
June, and I was working at the park at that time.
Oh, you
bring all
did?
the animals in. We'd have to help things set up. It was
Did they set up out where the baseball fields were?
amphitheater.
Was that
in the
okay?
amphitheater. Yep.
Okay. Just it was a marvelous time. I mean, just the circus. Hurry, 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 everybody! That was kind of more like carnival. What is the only car consumer, Ralph Nader? What is the only consumer the car critic Ralph Nader ever owned? I didn't even know he owned a car
Wasn't he
dealership.
the Corvair?
He
Was
was
it
the
the one?
Corvair
The
one.
Unsafe at Any Speed? Was that the book he wrote about the Corvair? And notice I have my Chevrolet shirt on.
Yes, you
So
do.
know,
Well, the answer to your answer
Not a
is
Corvair.
not
not a-
Corvette.
What's the only?
The only car dealer ship, what kind of car was it? And it may have been one of the first to ever go out of business.
Studebaker?
Studebaker is correct.
There you go.
Tell you a quick story. None of my stories are quick, but I always say that. My dad bought a Studebaker, a brand new one. We went on vacation, went out west, and I remember climbing Pikes Peak, and the engine started pinging, and my dad said, "This doesn't sound right." When we got done with the vacation return to Peoria, he turned the car back in. You can't do that today. But back in those days, you bought cars on a handshake. Now you give a pint of blood and have to get an attorney to read the contract.
You have to have a
And you
computer.
still wind up getting screwed.
You have to have a computer
the-
programming degree to drive it.
Yeah. But it was quite a car. All right, as we move along, in what city was Will Rogers honorary mayor?
Is it in
Will
Oklahoma?
Rogers
Is it in
named as
Oklahoma?
honorary mayor. No,
The city is not in Oklahoma.
no,
Okay.
it is not.
New York City?
No. Tyrus, pick out a city. Any city, East Peoria, Creve Coeur, you name it. All right, move on. Any other guesses?
I keep going with Oklahoma City, and that's not one, so.
All right, I'll help you out.
Someplace.
Give a section of the country.
Arizona?
Like
Okay.
over there in Texas.
You know, like west,
west.
east, north, south, west.
Okay, so it's in the
Yeah,
west.
it's in the
So
west.
somewhere
Is it
over
on
in
a
Texas?
is it in the coastal
No,
west?
not in Texas.
Would it be in the coastal west?
Yes,
Okay, so now we're down to California.
yes.
Okay, so we're going to say L.A.
Okay, close.
San Diego?
San Diego.
Not so close.
Hollywood.
Close.
Uh,
Very close, as a matter of fact.
Oh, gosh.
Beverly Hills?
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills. There we go.
That is-
Beverly Hills, man.
That is correct. Who was the first to lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda in Washington, D.C.?
Was
And
it-
we're going way back
So
to
it's
the
not a
colonial
president?
days.
Was it a president?
No.
Okay. So state-
Good question.
So
You
laying
put
in
me
state
on
in
the
cap-
defense there with that question, yeah?
So laying in state in the capital.
Yes, in the Capitol Rotunda. Who was the first?
I mean, obviously Abraham Lincoln, but he's not. He was the president, so we know it's not him.
No.
And wasn't the Capitol being built during his presidency?
And that's for another quiz. Okay.
I'm trying to help myself out here, Roger.
Okay.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Benjamin Franklin.
And that is kind of in the neighborhood. They might have been neighbors. I'm not sure. I'll give you a clue. His last name was a soil substance.
Mud.
Yes,
What was his first
but it
name?
wasn't mud. Yeah,
Your name is Mud,
yeah.
right? Is that?
As a matter of fact, there was a guy who was on the city council. I got to be pretty good friends of his, Joe Mudd. Neat guy, good Democrat, just a pleasant guy. And he resigned as a member of the city council. He might have been a state representative. And he said in his farewell speech that he was tired of eating rubber chicken at fundraisers. Joe Mudd, neat guy. Okay, I'll give you the initials. H is the first name.
Herschel.
And, no, it wasn't Herschel. And C is the last name.
H.
Oh, wait. Okay.
And think of a soil substance.
Okay.
For the
Clay. Henry Clay.
Henry
Henry
Clay.
Speaker of the House, right?
So,
Yes.
yep.
Henry Clay. What was he most famous for?
Oh gosh, was he? You know, he was a senator, wasn't he? Not a speaker.
Was he the one that I regret I have but one life?
No, that's Patrick Henry.
Patrick.
Henry Clay and Calhoun and all those characters from the. So we're talking like the 1830s, 1840s, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was our first African American to win the Nobel Peace Prize? And boy, I remember the name, but boy, I would not be able to recall. I see the name on the answer sheet. I thought, oh yeah, I haven't heard his name in years. Very popular. And his first name is the same as the name of one of the characters on The Honeymooners.
Jackie Robinson.
And that's a good guess.
No. Okay.
Ralph?
Ralph is correct.
Abernathy.
No?
I'm trying to think of all
Last name starts with the letter B,
Ralph.
as in boy. And when you buy bananas, what?
Bunch.
Yes, Ralph Bunch.
Sure. Oh, no, Ralph
Okay,
Bunch.
yeah. What was the last state to adopt the secret ballot? And it was in 1950.
Alabama.
Go a little more east.
Oh, east. Okay.
Connecticut.
No, not that far.
South Carolina.
South Carolina is correct. Who was the first, you'll get this one, who was the first civilian astronaut launched into space?
The first civilian, was that Sally Ride? Was she the teacher? Remember
No.
the Challenger explosion? First
I
civilian.
didn't know he was a civilian. This got well known. There's a school named after him in East Peoria, as a matter of fact. I think it's East Peoria.
Well, he was an astronaut, though, so he wouldn't have been. It's a civilian, right? Or,
Well, here's the question. Who was the first civilian astronaut launched into space?
Neil Armstrong. is that
Neil
what it is?
Armstrong is correct. Tyrus, very good.
Well, that's not a civilian.
That's what I was wondering. When you said civilian, I was thinking, but he's civilian astronaut.
Astronaut, yeah.
So who was the first astronaut? Okay, we'll go with that.
How many years of schooling did Ben Franklin have? This is a shocker.
Not a whole lot.
Not
Not a whole lot.
Yeah, none.
No, that would have been a trick
I
question.
think he went up to.
I'll say through 6th grade.
You what?
Through 6th
No, you
grade.
have to say how many years, not
Oh.
the year.
4 years.
4 years, good answer, but incorrect. Tyrus?
Like 6.
6 is not so good.
Okay, so
8.
3.
No, you're going the wrong direction.
4.
It's-
3.
5.
Are we at an auction now? Did we win anything?
2 is correct.
There we go.
2 years of schooling.
I knew it wasn't a whole lot.
Yeah.
All right, here's a wonderful question. I know that people listening and watching it on YouTube will enjoy this question and the answer. What triggered the feud between the Hatfields and the McCoys? What started that feud?
Wasn't it a pig got into the
That is correct.
the farmer's
The
field?
theft of a pig.
theft of a pig.
How do you remember that?
Boy.
All I remember is the feud.
Yeah, I
but
do too.
no,
I thought it was over land dispute. Or
But
a
it
fence.
doesn't say who stole the
Pig got
pig.
into their property.
Yeah.
so
It's a
they
pig.
said-
They took,
How many
they took
chess?
Wilbur.
Here's one of those questions that, yeah, you could easily say, who cares? But how many chests of tea were dumped? And you could say how many boxes of tea were dumped into the Boston Harbor at the Tea Party?
Well, it's Boston Tea Party, so we're going to say how many boxes, chests?
Yes,
27.
way too low.
Are we saying so
80.
boxes?
Let's
We're
say they were pretty good sized
It
boxes.
was dang near all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, all of
That's
them,
all
yeah.
of them.
It was dang near all of
Still
them.
too low.
80
So is it under 100?
No.
No, it's way
It's
over.
over
It's
100.
way
Oh
over.
my,
It's like
so we're gonna go
250
to
or something.
250 is getting closer.
275.
That's getting closer.
Okay, 500.
That's way.
Okay.
Suddenly went
350.
300.
It's in the 300s.
350.
342. Close enough.
Okay.
What state was the first to recognize Labor Day?
Remember, was the first year?
No.
First
What state was the
Oh,
first
state.
to recognize Labor Day?
Oh. Is it a Midwest, West,
No.
or East?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Whoa.
I'm going to say
Yes.
New York.
No. Wrong direction.
West. It's a Western
Yes.
state, and I'm going to say it's California.
I figure you'd say that,
Yeah.
and that's incorrect.
Okay, so I'm going to say Washington,
No.
Oregon.
Well, yeah, I know you eventually.
Just work my way down.
Sit down and let somebody else answer. All right. What is the significance of these three ships? Goodspeed,
Okay.
Discovery, and the Sarah Constant.
Got
And boy, if you get this one, you go to the head of the class.
No.
The first one was a companion ship to the Mayflower.
No.
Wait.
Okay.
Well, the significance is they both floated.
Yes.
got
that-
floated.
that's
They all
correct.
floated.
Yeah.
That's not the answer.
I think, why don't you answer first of all where they landed, and that will help.
America.
They all landed at the same location.
Virginia,
Name the,
Off the coast.
Jamestown.
Jamestown is correct,
Oh, the
and
Pilgrims.
that meant it became the first successful English settlement in what was to become the United States. Very good. What home is the second most visited by tourists in the United States?
Oh, I'm going to Mount Vernon.
That's what I would think too.
I think Monticello, Jefferson's.
Yeah, that's what I would think, but
So the
both
second most
incorrect.
visited.
Is
what
the
you said?
second most visited,
So
yes.
Lincoln's home.
You know?
Okay.
Now, help you out, don't think presidential or
Oh.
political.
Okay. Graceland.
And that is correct.
Yeah.
Good answer, Zone, until we change
Yeah.
the direction. What foreign government contributed the most money for victims of the San Francisco earthquake? Usually Kendra is answering these questions, but she must be busy getting the kids ready for, oh, they're out of school now, aren't they? Yeah.
Great Britain.
No.
Okay.
What foreign government contributed the most money for victims of the San Francisco earthquake?
China,
You're close.
Japan.
Japan.
Japan is correct. What famous publisher posted the bond for Jefferson Davis? It's a little harder.
Famous publisher. Would it be Hearst? William Randolph Hearst.
No?
Joseph
No,
Pulitzer.
For Andrew Johnson?
No?
Didn't just,
Those are the two publishers I know.
no, he posted the bond for who?
for Jefferson Davis.
Oh, Jefferson, okay, so
The
he was
Confederate.
the
Confederate leader.
Yeah, but
So Hearst is too early. I mean, Hearst came after him.
Hearst and Pulitzer.
Well, I'll give you a very key clue. We named a grade school after
Horace
him.
Greeley.
Horace Greeley is correct.
That was
Very
the other
good.
one I was thinking of.
What
Go West,
American?
young man, is what he said.
Yes, Horace Greeley did. That was what he was more famous for, was it not?
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
What American institution did Napoleon's grandnephew found in the United States? Never heard of this one before. This will blow you away. What American institution, and I could say what American agency did Napoleon's grandnephew found in the United States?
Is it one we've heard of?
Oh, definitely.
And it's an institution. Is it an educational institution? Okay.
That
Is
was a
it-
good question.
Is it giving aid?
No?
Institution. Is it, the halls, is it like a performance hall?
No?
Okay.
No.
Smithsonian Institution?
Think about the word agency.
Oh.
I was thinking like Salvation Army,
No?
Red Cross.
It is not a nonprofit.
Is
It is not a entertainment.
it a political agency?
No, it really isn't. And I'll help you out with another clue.
Okay.
It's a federal agency. And it's in the news quite a bit today. It's in the news all the time, but it certainly is in the news today.
So it's a federal agency,
Yes.
the Treasury Department.
Well, you're getting close.
Oh.
Commerce?
What?
The Commerce?
No? All right, I'll give you
Okay.
a better clue. It's in law enforcement.
Okay,
So,
FBI.
Secret Service?
No? What'd you
FBI.
say?
FBI?
FBI is correct.
Yeah.
Very good.
Wow.
What state was the first to pass a right to die bill?
Oregon.
That's what I thought, but that's
not.
incorrect.
Is it in the same area?
Yes.
Washington?
No?
California.
California.
Okay.
And finally, as the crowd cheers,
California.
what state was the
CBI.
first to proclaim Christmas a holiday? Interesting.
Christmas.
What state was the first to proclaim Christmas a holiday?
Oh, I should know those.
I'm going to go with Pennsylvania. I don't know why. But it's not right.
I should know those.
No. You said what?
Pennsylvania.
No.
Is it a southern state?
We had a little Christmas music to it.
I like it.
Uh-huh.
Christmas in June.
No, what state did you say?
Well, I'm thinking, was it in the South?
Yes.
Georgia?
No?
South Carolina.
No? Tyrus? South? Give us South state.
Florida?
No.
Alabama.
No.
Alabama is
Alabama.
correct. Good job.
Alabama.
Alabama. And ladies and gentlemen, that completes our quiz of the morning. We think about Christmas and what's the temperature?
Oh, yes. The temperature right now is 57.
57 and a high today of...
High is 86, so I don't think our snowmen are going to last very
No,
long
I don't
today.
think so. And that means it's time for our pet tip of the day.
Today's pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Did you know the nose pad of a cat is rigid in a pattern that is unique, just like the fingerprint of a human? That makes them individuals just like us. But they are creatures of habit, so if you are housebreaking a cat, here is something you should know. You control the feeding, so you can control the eliminating. Cats will usually leave the litter box 15 minutes after eating. Place the litter box in a room where you can close the door. After she eats, take her to the room and close her in. She will have no choice but to use the box and win your praise. If you want her to go outside, take her out at the appropriate time, and when she completes her duty, praise her lavishly. If you are consistent and watchful, you can teach your cat to go to the box or outside very quickly. A few weeks of this, and she will have it down pat. If your cat does mess in the wrong place, do scrub the area well, but don't use Lysol. That's right. It's an attractant to a cat. If you need to eliminate a urine odor, there are several products on the market that do this very well. You can find them at any good pet supply store. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSVR Studios. Theme music by Stuardo Glasser and produced by Isla Bystrom-Williams.
Today's Pet Tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at PeoriaPetCrematory.com.
You know, hearing that narrative about cats, and you're a big cat lover and have been for years, Teri, how would you equate, panel, the difference in intellect between a cat and a dog? You're probably going to say cats are smarter than dogs.
I haven't been around dogs enough to make a
no one way or the other.
comparison.
I've had both. Cats are definitely
Yeah,
smart.
I have too. You what? Cats are smarter. Are
Yeah,
they?
they're more
Yes.
opinionated.
Yeah,
Like cats?
they are.
Yeah.
But I would say the grand scheme of things
Yeah.
for dogs, like, you know, they get trained and they're
Yeah, that's true.
search dogs and police dogs, and like they know what they're doing.
And you know what?
I've
You
never
know,
seen a police
I
cat.
mentioned that the
No.
church service Sunday, somebody had a what do they call the dogs?
A service dog.
A service
They're
dog.
service dogs,
Yeah.
and
I haven't seen
Have
a
you
service
ever
cat.
heard of
No,
a
you're
service,
right.
service cat.
Yeah.
No.
And yet, and I think you would verify this, cats can be wonderful companions.
Yeah,
would
they
they
can.
not?
They can be
Okay.
on their terms.
On their
On their
terms.
terms, really.
On their
We're
terms.
amused is what they will say.
But they also can be trained. There was,
You can train cats.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, you train them where they're going to drop their droppings.
Well,
That's
there
true.
was mother cat.
That's up
Mother
to-
cat kind of takes care of that. But there was, I think they were a mother and daughter team that appeared on America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
It's like, Mom's still alive. So I'm thinking about 3 or 4 years ago. And they had about 5 cats.
Oh.
And I mean, these cats
Were trained.
Oh, they climb up the thing and they jump into their arms.
No kidding.
And they
Really?
did, you know, like the parallel bars that the
Yeah.
gymnasts use. And so the cat was walking upside down, and he's
Upside down?
yeah, he was hanging like this and moving himself.
Oh,
with
no,
his
that
foot.
was a monkey.
Nope, it was the cats,
Yeah.
and they were doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And I know,
Gee, I wish I'd seen that.
I
That would've been
bet it's on
fascinating.
YouTube somewhere. You could probably.
Oh yeah, you could definitely find
It
it.
was
I
phenomenal.
know that we
You
have
can
bring
find it.
your dog to the ballpark day. Do we bring your cat to the ballpark day? I can't
Yeah.
imagine. You heard the
guess
term
we
herding
could.
cats? That's what it'd be like.
Yes.
It'd probably be a lot.
Can the cats run the
It'd
bases?
probably be a
I
lot
don't know.
easier,
Yeah.
honestly, if you brought your
Well,
cat,
if they were trained to walk upside down, I guess they okay.
Cat-like
Run to
reflexes.
second base. Is it true, panel, that cats are pretty independent compared to
Oh,
dogs?
yeah.
Oh, for
yes.
sure. Yeah.
Yes.
See, that was the thing that always bothered me. We had cats and a dog, and later on dogs for that matter. And the cats were pretty cocky about where they went. They were not exactly not fearless, but they kept their eye on and whenever my dog came around them, they would make take a swipe like,
Yeah.
hey, step up to the plate and let me take a a couple of inches of your nose off, for that matter. I was just wondering, they can be trained
But
to
it takes a lot of patience.
yeah.
Everything can be trained.
And they can be trained to accept the presence of a dog. Again, as you said, under their terms, for that matter. All right, we have news, weather, sports coming up on Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois, and also on YouTube. And you can access us on YouTube simply by typing in Roger and Friends LS. And we'd be happy to see you. And we have Peoria attorney Kevin Sullivan coming up in the next hour, so stay tuned, everybody. Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, the 3rd of June, and let's start with a check of the weather. And the weather brought to you by Matt Wall, CPA and tax specialist with Gordon Stockman and Wall for all things finance. Don't hesitate to call Matt. You can reach him today at 309-692-4030. That's 692-4030. Going to be another beautiful day today. It's certainly gorgeous this morning, sunny and pleasant. A high of 86, overnight low 60. Tomorrow, sunny and warmer, up to 88. And Friday, it'll be partly sunny. The good news, Friday comes Friday afternoon. And look for afternoon showers and a high of 86. There'll be rain Friday night, Saturday with a high of 88, and Saturday night, and Sunday with a high of 89. Right now our temperature at 60 degrees. That's your live weather. And now the news with the lead story. Here's Dave Poehls.
Well, good morning, everybody. As we start our newscast today, they're still talking about a ceasefire between Iran and the United States, but you'd never know it. Both countries traded military action, with Iran coming out on the short end. The Iranians launched a series of drones at U.S. bases in Kuwait and Bahrain. All were destroyed. The different story is U.S. airstrikes did heavy damage on the Iranian-controlled island of Qisham. U.S. forces also hit an oil tanker that ignored warnings as it headed for an Iranian port. It was disabled by a U.S. missile to the engine room.
In this country, voters went to the polls yesterday in 6 states, including Iowa and California. Lots of interest in the race for mayor of Los Angeles and governor in California. Republicans were hoping that Steve Hilton would be among the top 2 finishers who would then be on the November ballot. The contest for LA mayor pitted Spencer Pratt of TV fame against incumbent Karen Bass. Here's what we have in the way of results this morning. For governor, in November it will be Republican Steve Hilton versus Democrat Javier Becerra. In the race for Los Angeles mayor, Karen Bass, the incumbent, faces Spencer Pratt.
And the Peoria County Sheriff's Department reports the arrest of 44-year-old Josh Coates, also known as Dennis Walker, after he was accused of impersonating a deputy sheriff. Walker allegedly stopped a vehicle last month on Plank Road, not far from the county jail. His vehicle had red and blue blinking lights. Wearing all dark apparel, he demanded the victim's driver's license and said it was outdated and tore it up. The victim said he would notify the sheriff's department, which prompted Walker to drive away. And he was arrested later by the real police.
The quiet central Illinois town of Deer Creek was alive with police activity yesterday afternoon around 1:30. A man was taken into custody after threatening his mother with a knife. When Tazewell County deputies arrived on the scene, the man refused to come out of the house, but eventually surrendered. He faces a number of charges.
It was a well-intentioned good idea by President Trump, but the proposed anti-weaponization fund is now dead. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanke told House members that the Justice Department will not move forward with such a fund. Trump wanted to provide money for Republicans who were jailed for demonstrating in the Capitol on January 6, 21.
However, many Republicans were opposed to the $1.8 billion measure, as were all congressional Democrats. So was U.S. District Judge Leonie Brinkema in Virginia. He slapped a temporary restraining order that blocked using the fund. A Democrat, Brinkema was appointed by President Clinton.
A federal grand jury in North Carolina has indicted former FBI Director James Comey on 2 charges threatening the life of President Donald Trump for allegedly arranging a group of seashells with the symbol 8647. The number 86 is representative of removing or eliminating a person, and many believe 47 relates to Trump as the 47th President of the United States. Jurors decided Comey, who has a strong dislike for Trump, was pushing for the demise of the president.
The subject has received new interest after Democrat Judge Randy Moss told the National Park Service it could not remove a flag with the same message installed near the National Mall by a hate Trump group. Conservators have been urged to plant a flag with 86 Moss next to the 8647.
There was a report that California Governor Gavin Newsom diverted money appropriated to help victims of the 2025 wildfires to fighting ICE agents. Newsom has received criticism along with Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass for slow-walking reconstruction. Newsom used more than $14 million to pay for crowd control at anti-ICE riots. And those are our headlines for this half hour.
Thank you kindly. Let's get some headlines from WCBU and Rich Draker. Rich?
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Rich Draker. It was once again a late night, passing a $56 billion state budget this week after lawmakers missed the midnight May 31st deadline. The budget then required a 2/3 majority to pass. Republican State Representative Ryan Spain says he had good talks with Democrats, but there were still last-minute amendments that Republicans did not have enough time to properly read.
We've had much better communication this session about the contours of the budget, and I hope it leads to better conversations.
The budget passed largely along party lines. State lawmakers ended their spring legislative session without delivering anything to keep the Chicago Bears in Illinois. Mawa Iqbal reports from Springfield.
It was a chaotic and bitter end to a 3-year legislative push by the Bears. After floating Hammond as a potential site for a new domed stadium, the team will now have to make clear whether that's a real possibility or a bluff. The Senate and House couldn't agree on a package to entice the Bears to build in Arlington Heights. Here's House Speaker Chris Welch.
We'll continue discussions on a number of issues, including our approach to the Bear Stadium question this summer.
The Bears sounded none too happy at that, saying it would stick to its own timeline and make a decision on where to build by early summer. I'm Mawa Iqbal.
Farmers in the U.S. face one of the highest suicide rates of any occupation. The Farm Family Resource Initiative from Southern Illinois University is offering individual counseling and support groups for farmers and their families. Mental health specialist Rachel Brown says people who are seeking support can connect with qualified professionals.
These professionals who are trained in mental health, but they also understand agriculture and they understand farming.
The statewide initiative also includes a 24/7 crisis helpline. The number connects farmers and their families with agriculture-related resources in their area and no-cost counseling sessions. From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Rich Drager.
All right, let's get into the world of sports this morning. Tyrus, and we want to mention that it's brought to you by Sam Lilly and Associates. Sam providing a comprehensive range of insurance products, including personal auto, home, life, and medical coverage. You know, Sam specializes in Medicare plans and options. That's something he's been doing for his 40 years in the insurance industry. Sam knows insurance. You can get information from Sam today at 309-245-4374. Now with sports, here's Tyrus. Good morning, Tyrus.
Good morning, Roger. Thank you. Let's start with the Peoria Chiefs at 25-27. They play today at 6:35 p.m. versus the Beloit Sky Carp affiliate with the Miami Marlins. It is game 2 of their 6-game home series. You can also bring your dog to this game or tomorrow's game, which that starts at 6:35 p.m. MLB news: the Cubs at 32-29 lose to the A's 2-1. They look to tie this series up at 1 apiece with a win tonight at 7:05 p.m. The Cardinals 31-28 lost last night to the Rangers 7-4 and will look to avoid the sweep at home at 6:45 tonight. So hopefully that doesn't happen. White Sox at 32-29 lost to the Twins yesterday, 6-4. We'll look to avoid the sweep also today at 12:40 in the afternoon. The Yankees 36-24 lose 9-4 to the Guardians last night and look to tie the series up at 1 apiece tonight at 6:05 p.m. Phillies at 31-29 beat the Padres yesterday 3-2 and go for the series win tonight at 5:40 p.m. In the NHL, it's the Stanley Cup Finals between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Vegas Golden Knights. The Golden Knights took Game 1 yesterday by a score of 5-4. They play tomorrow at 7 p.m. The NBA Finals, it starts tonight at 7:30. It is the San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks. They play Game 1 in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
In the WNBA, the Indiana Fever are 4-4. Play the Atlanta Dream tomorrow at 6 p.m. The Chicago Sky at 3-6 lost to the Washington Mystics last night by a score of 90-72. Next game is Friday at 6:30 versus the Connecticut Sun. They got to get back on track. They've lost 5 in a row.
Oh, that's trouble.
Yeah.
We got trouble right here in River City.
That's right. They've had some injuries and not a lot of good going on there. NFL news, big trade. It was I would say a win-win for both teams, Browns and Rams. The Browns traded Myles Garrett to the Rams for young star Jared Verse and a first 2027 pick. The second round pick is in 2028, and the third round pick is in 2029. And it's a win-win for them. The Browns get a young star. They get off the contract of Myles Garrett, and then also horse racing. The Belmont Stakes is this Saturday at 6:04 p.m.
We got to pick the horses. We got to find out who's running. Yeah,
that's right.
And they're off.
And the race is on. And that's sports.
That's it.
Back to you guys.
All right. Thank you, Tyrus. Good job, as usual. Hour number 2 of Breakfast with Roger and Friends continue. I meant to ask you on more than one occasion, Dave, you're into the education field and have been for years and continuing with the Peoria Regional Office of Education. What do principals do during the summer? Do they still go to the school? I know things are a little different because District 150's got this new schedule that is almost year-round schooling and so forth. But let's take a school like in Morton or Beardstown. Well, that's out of Peoria County. Wouldn't serve Morton for that matter. But do principals still go into the schools or do they go on vacation?
So, I can remember when I was principal too, and it's the case of a lot of my colleagues in different districts too. You never quite, it's kind of like twilight, right? It never gets completely dark.
You never really.
Here's why. Most principals are working at least through June, at least through the end. They kind of take a little bit of a vacation late June, and then of course they're back at it probably mid-July. You got to remember, there's
hard
also
to believe, yeah.
Well, there's hiring. Any given year, you're always going to have some staffing. You have to chase some candidates down. And then, of course, I always love the mid-July surprises. You get that phone call on a Sunday night. By the way, we're getting transferred to wherever, and so you have to find a new math teacher, in like late July or something like that. You've always got events happening. You've got scheduling. You've got, you name it, and then you're back at it. So to answer your question directly, a little bit of a break, but certainly not the whole summer.
Yeah. I was thinking that this is a time of the year when maybe teachers, particularly special teachers, maybe special education, they get a better opportunity, shall we speak. I know someone who has worked for several school districts, seems to be happy where they are now because they're making top dollar. Is District 150 the best paying school district in central Illinois?
Wages are very competitive and certainly.
I've heard stories.
Yeah, it's they're doing all right. Let's put it that way. But it's definitely I wouldn't say lucrative because nothing in education is lucrative, right? But they're very competitive with other districts.
Yeah, it's interesting because I remember when Larry Fogelberg or Lawrence Fogelberg, the father of course, the well-known Fogelberg Dan, was recruited by the Pekin district out of Peoria's Woodruff, and he went over there for better money. He made no secret about it. They made an offer I couldn't turn down. Things are a little bit different now. I think Peoria does quite well in retaining their teachers and so forth.
Oftentimes you'll find people from other districts that, they want to come, obviously, especially towards the end of your career. You want to get your salary up there a little bit before you retire. So that's another reason. Opportunity, there's a lot of variety. It's just a bigger district.
Yeah. Do you work with certain school districts to locate and recruit principals, teachers, etc., or are they pretty much on their own?
Well, we're an advisory. The Regional Office of Education is a service organization, so certainly we do help. We can point people in the right direction. As far as recruiting and all that sort of thing, we don't do. Districts do that on their own. We're just there to, as we say, we're from the government and we're here to help.
Yeah,
that's what we always say.
And so, I think Ronald Reagan says that's when you close the door.
Famous quote. Yes.
And you close the door very, very quickly. However, you're kind of a good. The agency is kind of a excellent sounding board, and know if a school district needs a math teacher or a basketball coach or whatever. Say you might want to look here, you might want to look there.
Yeah.
And pass the word along.
We're kind of like eyes in the sky, radar, whatever. We know somebody's looking somewhere else, so we can kind of often point them in the direction. But most districts recruit and retrain on their own. We're just there we function between the State Board of Education and the local districts to help out.
A couple of weeks ago, maybe even longer than that, I heard there was a story circulating that because of the number of vacancies that, and I think it was District 150, had indicated that they were lowering the standards for becoming a teacher or an assistant or some position in the school district that needed help.
Yeah, I don't know if lowering the standards, right? It's just making it more accessible. So, for instance, years ago, 40 years ago, in order to have a certain position, you had basically the universities. Now, there's more online choices. There's more alternative sort of, let's say you've been in a career and you want to switch quickly. There's more supports, for lack of a better word. But as far as the eligibility and the criteria to be, like, let's say, for instance, a math teacher, it's still the same. I mean, you still have to have certain minimal competencies that you have to achieve in order to be a teacher.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. So just having a college degree isn't enough.
No, there's...
And what's the process, when a student graduates from college and maybe they majored in education, maybe they didn't major in education, that doesn't mean they're eligible for hiring. They have to get a certificate of education.
So
is that through your office, the state office,
we do that.
or what?
Yep. So let's say you've gone back to college, and let's just say, for instance, Illinois State University, right? And you graduate with a history degree or political science or what have you. So the next step.
Well, let's make it realistic. I graduated from Bradley.
You did graduate from Bradley.
A bachelor,
I was just
and a
thinking of
master's.
myself.
Okay, a master's degree.
Yep.
But that doesn't make me eligible to teach.
Yeah,
so what do I have to do?
You have to first of all apply for licensure through your local regional office education.
In this case, it would be.
Yes, we're ROE 48, so we serve Peoria County, and there's other regional offices throughout the state.
And there is one in Tazewell.
There's one in
Since
Tazewell.
I live in Morton. Okay.
So you'd be ROE 53, I think. So
Boy,
anyway,
the number 53 sounds good versus 92.
There you go.
Okay.
Exactly. And so you certainly you petition for your license, and then you have to pass with a minimal competency. There's state licensing. So basically, it's to certify.
What kind of a test is that?
Well, it's through the state. So, for instance,
give me an example of a question or two might be
2 + 2 equals.
Oh, I can do that. I'm okay. All right, good. I can do that. Everybody knows 2 + 2 is 5.
Which reminds me, you're a teacher, and you ask your student, "Can you do? Why are you doing your multiplication on the floor?" Well, you told me to do it without tables. There you go. There you go. That's not quite the question. So, a little education humor there for you, Roger.
Yeah, let me tell that circus joke again.
We'll get that back. So, you do your minimal competency, and then you pass the licensing. And then, certainly in the summer, you're accredited and you're ready to roll. So, sometimes if let's say you get a candidate from out of state, a university out of state, they would have to go through the Illinois certification.
Really? I would think many states have reciprocal
Some do.
agreements, but apparently in this case...
I'll give you an
you
example.
don't.
I remember when I was principal, I had a great candidate. I was hiring for a math position when I was principal Washington, which is Reservoir Academy now.
Right.
It was Washington Gifted then. She was a phenomenal candidate, but she graduated from college in Michigan, so we had to do a provisional, and certainly the certificate, she finally got it. It just took a little longer, but by the
Really?
time school
Yeah.
started, she had it. So
Interesting.
those are the steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, interesting. It sounds like it's somewhat of a process to go through, and yet the question becomes, because we've heard of numerous examples right here in Central Illinois, where perhaps from a criminal or morality check isn't as complete or thorough as it is for academia.
Well, so yeah, I think there's a definite background. You definitely have to do background. There's red flags that come up.
So there are
Yeah.
background checks.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. You have to go. And one thing we look at is files and see. You go through the database that the state has. There's fingerprinting, all that stuff. So it's pretty. I will say,
Okay.
especially work in education.
Because every now and then a story will pop up about a teacher that has done something,
Yeah.
shall we say, morally,
Right,
if not
right,
ethically. And as the story unfolds, you find out that teacher was dismissed in another school district, but they didn't connect the dots.
Well, I'll give you an example. If you follow the national news in Des Moines, Iowa, their superintendent
Oh,
has just
yes,
been
I
indicted and
remember that
arrested.
story, yeah.
So somebody didn't do some checking there because
And that was
he
a
hired-
high.
He was the superintendent of the Des Moines school district, and he basically
He was a
number
bad
one
guy.
was- yeah, he had embezzled money, but on top of that, guess what? He wasn't a citizen.
Yeah.
So somebody missed the boat on that one. So yeah, we do thorough checks. I think most districts do, and it's incumbent on the hiring process to do
Yeah.
that. So
And how about the Leering Center in Minnesota?
yeah. No,
That's another story.
Oh, I don't know
And
that one.
I saw the guy who uncovered that, the independent news reporter, was on the cable show last night, and he had taken the sign in, I think it was in Minneapolis,
Yeah.
that was they were receiving millions of dollars, but they didn't have any kids, and their sign.
Right.
Instead of learning, Learning, they misspelled, made it Leering
Quite
Center,
work, huh?
and that was the kind of agency that was receiving federal dollars.
They weren't promoting the best knowledge.
Standards of education for sure. Sunny and pleasant today, a high of 86 right now. Our temperature at 61 degrees, and we'll be back after this message.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go? I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it! I knew it! Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
7:24 is our time. 61 degrees, and what's coming up Friday over in Morton? We were talking about Tazewell County, and the Morton Library has something exciting beginning. I think the first is this Friday, is it?
It is. They're kicking off their summer program called Groove in the Garden. And it's going to be at the Morton Library, back behind the building in the little garden area. And Cousin Eddie will be the first performer. They're known for playing 4 decades of classic music. There'll be food trucks. The food trucks, they said, are going to be there about 6 o'clock. And then at 6:30, the actual concert begins.
What kind of food truck they going to have?
On the schedule, Big Papa Jake and Triple Dipple.
Well, that's ice
Friday
cream.
night.
What is Big Jake or Hot Jake or what's his name?
Big Papa Jake.
Big Papa. That sounds like pizza to me.
Could be, or sandwiches.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bring a blanket, bring a lawn. I would personally prefer a lawn chair to sit on.
I'm going to bring a Marca lounger.
You know, I don't know about the rest of you, but if I sit on the grass, I will have jigger bites for the next 2 weeks.
Yep.
So I'm with you on the lawn chair.
I don't sit in the
So
grass.
none of this sit in the grass and let all the various creatures sample your blood system.
Yep. And like I said, that'll be the kickoff. And then they're going to be running every Friday night through July 31st, except the 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
There's some little thing in Peoria about fireworks.
There must be something going on July 4th.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it'll be, but you know what is neat? I don't know how many years, whether it's the first year, but they've been doing it every year. I never heard about this until I got the flyer through the mail, and I said, hey, this sounds like something that we want to tell our listeners about, because first of all, it's free, and secondly, the entertainment is top-notch, so I'm sure there will be a good turnout for the event this Friday. And the food truck starts at 6?
It's 6.
And the program starts
Music
at
starts at 6:30.
6:30. Sounds like an exciting opportunity to see some good entertainment in Central Illinois. Well, coming up, it is a Wednesday, and we'll be chatting with Peoria defense attorney Kevin Sullivan, who's been a busy, busy guy lately, so I look forward to chatting with him. In the meantime, let's bring you up to date with some of the stories that we're following this morning. If you have any questions about investments, here's an option for you. Bob Manning's available. Bob is with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley here in Peoria. He is Senior Vice President, and he's been around working in the investment advisory field now for 27 years, actually over 27 years. And Morgan Stanley Smith Barney LLC is his affiliation, also a member of SIPC. And you can reach Bob Manning at 309-671-4653. That's 671-4653. And here with the headlines, Terry.
They're still talking about a ceasefire between Iran and the United States, but you'd never know it. Both countries traded military action with Iran, coming out on the short end. The Iranians launched a series of drones at U.S. bases in Kuwait and Bahrain. All were destroyed. Different story, as U.S. airstrikes did heavy damage on the Iranian-controlled island of Qisham. U.S. forces also hit an oil tanker that ignored warnings as it headed for an Iranian port. It was disabled by a U.S. missile to the engine room. In this country, voters went to the polls yesterday in 6 states, including Iowa and California. Lots of interest in the race for mayor of Los Angeles and governor in California. Republicans were hoping Steve Hilton would be among the top 2 finishers who would then be on the November ballot. The contest for LA mayor pitted Spencer Pratt of TV fame against incumbent Karen Bass. Here's what we have in the way of results this morning. For governor, in November, it will be Republican Steve Hinton versus Democrat Javier Becerra. And in the race for mayor, incumbent Karen Bass will be running against Spencer Pratt, again of TV fame. I can't even put a face with the name.
I can't either, but TV fame, it says, and as you know, the national media never wrong.
Oh no, never. The Peoria County Sheriff's Department reports the arrest of 44-year-old Josh Coates, also known as Dennis Walker, after he was accused of impersonating a deputy sheriff. Walker allegedly stopped a vehicle last month on Plank Road not far from the county jail. His vehicle had red and blue blinking lights. Wearing all dark apparel, he demanded the victim's driver's license and said it was outdated and tore it up. The victim said he would notify the sheriff's department, which prompted Walker to drive away. He was arrested later by the real police.
And somebody just walked in with dark apparel, so we need to find out
if his car has red and blue blinking lights.
He probably does.
The quiet central Illinois town of Deer Creek was alive with police activity yesterday afternoon around 1:30. A man was taken into custody after threatening his mother with a knife. When Tazewell County deputies arrived on the scene, the man refused to come out of the house, but eventually surrendered. He faces a number of charges. And the President Trump proposed anti-weaponization fund is now dead. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanke told House members that the Justice Department will not move forward with such a fund. Trump wanted to provide money for Republicans who were jailed for demonstrating in the Capitol January 6, 2021. But even some Republicans were opposed to the $1.8 billion measure, as were Democrats. So was U.S. District Judge Lenny Brinkema in Virginia. He issued a temporary restraining order that blocked the fund. Judge Brinkema was appointed by President Clinton. And those are the headlines, Roger.
How about a check of the weather brought to you by Steve Sink, managing partner of PHX affiliate. Steve, you know, has been a business broker for more than 20 years, working with clients confidentially and professionally for the sale and or purchase of a new business. More information available about business from Steve, and you can reach him today at 309-696-8508. That's 696-8508. Dave, you have the weather, I think.
I do. As you make your way through a wonderful Wednesday, you're going to have a nice companion today, and that's that sunny and pleasant weather we're looking at. A high of 86 degrees today. Overnight low of 60 degrees. Tomorrow dawns sunny and warmer, climbing up to 88 degrees, and then Friday partly sunny, and then look for some afternoon showers moving in, a high of 86. And then, of course, this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're looking for some showers on and off with a high of 88 on Saturday and a high of 89 on Sunday. And currently, as we work our way through a wonderful, beautiful Wednesday, it's holding at 63 degrees.
Yeah, hallelujah for the rain in the forecast, because I can see my lawn needs it in the worst way, and even more importantly for the people who are in the business of farming. And it is a Wednesday morning, and we say a pleasant good morning to Peoria attorney Kevin Sullivan. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Roger.
You know, I'm sure you have some other more important cases to talk about, but if there's a case that gets under my skin, and there have been plenty of them by some of the judges, and either the judges who are making some unwise, in my opinion, decisions, we're all entitled to our opinion whether we wear a black robe or we don't, is the judge who has told the National Park Service, you can't touch that sign, that banner that says 8647. And, you know, if that's the case, I guess we have judges now determining what can or can't go into our national parks above the National Park Service. But to me, that means that if you want to put a sign that says Joe's Hot Dogs, $1 on Wednesdays, I guess you could do it. Your response, Senator.
Well, you know, I think the judge hung his hat on the fact that it's a First Amendment issue. People can say and have freedom to say what they want to say. You know, in that there's limits on that, and one limit is threatening language. And you know, you can't fire in a theater. The old expression, you can't threaten somebody. You cannot say things about people that are not true that essentially defame or cause people financial injuries as a result of what you say. I think it's pretty well understood, and whether you're in the military or whether you're not, the term 86 means you kill it, you know, 86 that. You know, there's a lot of expressions that are similar. Some are profane, some are not, but 86 is, you know, it might as well be a police officer saying 10-4. You know, you understand what that means as well. So, you know, and 47 is just not a coincidental number. You know, it happens to be the 47th president of the United States that, you know, is certainly a lightning rod. And I've got to believe that courts, higher courts, when they really look at the law and try to parse this expression, are going to deem it to be a threat of some sort, whether it's direct or whether it's tacit, I think you're going to see probably that change. But you've got now, you've got a judge that is going to be famous for a day or two. He's now made his career, and he's can put that in his obituary someday that he was the one that upheld this when Trump was president. So I think you're going to see some movement on that when it gets to the higher courts. Lately, I've been somewhat surprised, speaking of other cases, what the higher courts have done, especially in the E. Jean Carroll case. I don't know what the Second Circuit Court of Appeals was thinking. I didn't get a chance to read. They just affirmed the trial court. But I think the Supreme Court is going to take a brand new look at that situation.
The other thing that irritated me about this judge's decision, the courts are really heavy. Their agenda, they've got a long number of cases, and for some reason that went to the front of the line. And why? And you can come to only one conclusion: it's political.
Well, you can look at it that way, and maybe they could try to justify it by saying, look, we don't need to have an entire trial. We don't need to have testimony. We don't need to have briefs filed. This is a First Amendment issue, and I can rule from the bench without having to go through a prolonged or a protracted trial. So, that may be, some cases can be decided summarily, and that might have been one of the reasons that kind of leaped to the front of the pack. And again, politics, for this judge, maybe it was an easy decision. Let's get it out there, then we're going to work on the harder cases that we have. And that's what I'm thinking at this point. It was not a tough decision for this judge.
What I think would be interesting is if Donald Trump had someone sit down and develop a narrative of how many lawsuits have been filed against the 47th president, and how many attorneys has he hired, because each one is in a different area of specialty in the judicial scheme of things. And then in another category, what has cost him personally in terms of legal fees, and it has to be in the millions of dollars.
At least, and I don't know what made me think of this. On Sundays when you're watching the NFL, you see the head coaches that have this one piece of paper, and it's got about a half a dozen colors highlighted on it. It's laminated, and it's on two sides, and it's got every play under every circumstance you're going to need for that game against that particular team. You could probably do something and color coordinate it like this, and sell it, frankly, to maybe recoup some fees. Yeah. But it would be quite a piece of work if they did that, and it would be interesting. It would be just a scorecard that we need some Wednesday mornings in here to talk about, because everything overlaps. Everything is, there's so many things going on, whether it's in his personal or professional capacity, and what I can't still figure out it doesn't make any sense to me, is the judge that stopped the ballroom. What, that is purely TDR. I mean, that is just Trump deranged syndrome. And when it's going to have a lot of security benefits. It's not just an aesthetic ballroom, because he's not going to get to use it. I mean, he's doing it for future presidents. It's not going to be completed until 2028, the last year of his term. And but it's going to have things in the roof that are going to be for protection. It's going to have things in the basement that are top secret. It's going to provide better security for larger events. It's going to showcase, I think, the White House for foreign dignitaries and
state dinners and so
a number
forth,
of things. And why are we wasting time when we're not wasting government money on this project? And then to leave it incomplete, it's nothing but an eyesore right now. And I think a danger at this point of having things ruined that have been done so far. So hopefully they get their act together and get something done on that real quick.
It seems like when I took a civics class at Woodruff High School and studied it, that we talked about the separation of powers, the separation between church and state. To me, it sounds like the judicial system is running government today.
Well, they're certainly trying to. They've always been the quiet branch. They've always been the stable branch, you know, and they're supposed to follow the rule of law. They're not supposed to put up a test balloon and see which way the wind blows. They're supposed to look at the rule of law as it exists. If there's any question, they look at cases, similar cases that have been decided in the past, because you want consistency going forward. And if it's an unpopular decision, so be it. Kick it back to the legislators and have them change the law. But the court's function when interpreting law is to give full effect to what the legislators have done. And if it's clear, you know, I'm dealing with this on a number of cases right now, where the legislature has enacted a law. This law says this. I'm arguing that, you know, for a judge to do something like they've done, you're reading into the statute what the legislature did not put in the statute, and that's not proper. You're not supposed to legislate from the bench. You're supposed to, you know, you're supposed to umpire from the bench and interpret the laws, you know, not add or detract from the existing laws.
Yeah, you know, speaking of that, let's turn to the Safety Act. We had this week on our program Peoria County Sheriff Chris Watkins, and we did talk about the Safety Act and the frustration that this act has brought to the crime scene, you might say. And we heard the governor and others say, well, we need to tweak it, but nobody's tweaking it, are they? And should they be?
They should be. There's no question. You know, it's the, they should make it priority one. And, you know, the wheels of justice oftentimes grind very slowly. And, you know, the legislature, you know, should get a committee together, in my opinion, of state's attorneys, sheriffs, and judges. And let's take a view from their perspective on how this is working and how it can be improved. But, you know, you look at, which I happen to do, you look at the daily commitment report on, let's say, Peoria County. Let's say on a Friday morning, it shows that on the previous day, 25 people were arrested in Peoria County. I'd say 15 of those people were arrested because they didn't go to court after their first arrest. They got arrested for failing to appear. You know, and these people know I don't have a motivation to go to court because I'm just going to play out here unless I get picked up again. When I get picked up again, I'll get out again, and then we're going to do this spiral until it finally stops. But when you had the cash bond, you know, if somebody posted $500 to get out of jail, they had a little skin in the game, and they now had a reason to come back to court at least because they've got their $500, they got their balance there, like at a bank. You know, if they win the case, they're going to get 90% of that back. If they don't win the case or they plead guilty, well, that's probably going to go to, you know, what they owe in terms of a fine and court costs. But if they have $500 posted and don't come back to court, they forfeit that bond. So that just goes right to the county at this point, and then you start over with a new cash bond, and instead of $500, it might be $1,000. You know, I'm not saying your bond system's supposed to be a moneymaker for government, but it's certainly factored into their annual budgets, because out of every bond posted, every dollar posted, I believe it was 10% went to the house, no matter win, lose, or draw. And so, you know, you get somebody that posts $20,000, at the end of the day, that's $2,000 to the clerk, and, you know, they have a formula how they divvy that up, but it still stays within government. And, you know, they need to, you know, the problem is this is the most one-sided bond law in the country, the Pretrial Safety Act, call it. It's the most one-sided, it's the most radical anywhere. And when they rolled it out, they just, you know, it was so radically different than what we had. You knew there was going to have to be some tweaking done, some amendments made and things like that. And, you know, I've also found that there's not a whole lot of consistency. You know, for example, Bloomington a couple weeks ago, in the same week, 2 registered sex offenders were let out of custody after having been accused of serious crimes. And yet somebody who might have looked at child pornography as being held in custody when they're a first offender. So there's not a lot of consistency county by county, circuit by circuit, as I see it. And I think they need more uniformity, and I think they really need to, they really ought to have a flow chart that would say, if this, then that. And, and still it's subject to, as things need to be, interpretation by the courts, but there are some major gaps, and they'd also need to simplify the law. It's kind of complex in certain respects.
I wanted to switch to another subject. I was on the county board when they debated about where to build the new county jail, and some were pushing it for downtown Peoria, where it was for many, many years for that matter, and others said, no, let's do it where we own the land and so forth. And in the beginning, they were bringing prisoners through the courthouse. Then they developed this kind of like teleconferencing and so forth. How's that worked out? Where there's apparently a room, is there a studio at the jail where they have lights and cameras and microphones and so forth?
People,
describe
and all that.
I'm sure you've been a part of that.
Absolutely, and I was before they built I forget when they built the new jail. It was maybe was it the late 70s or early 80s?
Yeah, I think in the 80s.
I think it was before I was practicing law. I wish they would have kept it downtown just for convenience purposes to have. It would make it a lot easier to have like a campus. And they also own some land, I believe, next to where the old jail was, or could have acquired it very reasonably. And why not do what a lot of places have done? Instead of building out, build up and go into the vertical space instead of the horizontal space, because there are certain things you have to have a detainee, we'll call him an inmate, in person for. Certain things you can't do by teleconference or closed circuit. And there invariably, if there's a mistake made, and it happens, and they forget to bring a certain defendant, you just can't call across the street and say, oh, hey, get John Doe over here. We need him. We forgot him this morning. They got to make some type of arrangements to bring him in from out on Maxwell Road. And it may take a special car. It may take a continuance to the following day. From my perspective, and this is purely selfish, it would be so much easier for me to visit with clients that are in custody if it was downtown as opposed to out on Maxwell Road. But, they can do a lot now. They weren't doing it until recently, but when I say recently, I want to say about the time COVID started with the closed circuit, where if somebody's being arraigned, for example, that means you're being advised of what your charges are. You're kind of starting the process. They do that a lot by Zoom or by closed circuit, where the person, you see them sitting there, they come to a podium, they have a microphone. We're in the courtroom, they've got the giant TVs in there. Now, doesn't make it real easy for us at that point to have a attorney-client discussion, because it's certainly not private or secluded. When people are picked up on let's say on a warrant, they didn't come to court and they're appearing like under the Safety Act, they do that as well, typically by closed circuit TV. And oftentimes they'll say, well, you're going to sit here another 2 days. The judge will say, I'm detaining you. You'll be brought over on Monday morning in person to courtroom 121 or 123, as the case may be. So, it's not perfect, but I just have found, I've seen, obviously traveled a lot of places, both personally and professionally. It just really seems neat when you have your government offices, and I think it's so much more efficient and economical to have them almost in a campus atmosphere.
Well, I'll tell you some of the locations that were discussed, debated, and lost. You're right, we looked at building where the old jail was, which is now a parking deck, and also at the motel around the corner about demolishing it and building there. For 10 points for you and the other members of the panel, what was the other location that used to be a hotel? And what was the name of the hotel?
Not the Hotel Lee.
It is, no. And the
Niagara?
hotel is now the Mark Twain. I don't know if it is even open now. And you're right, Howard Johnson. And that was discussed and debated and defeated. And then we had a location near Dozer Park, and I'll never forget this. And we had a subcommittee that was part of it, and they came up with this recommendation, but it was near a neighborhood, and one of the members of the county board, that was her district. And she said to the chairman of that committee who had recommended it for the jail, but that was some distance too, you know, like what, 5-6 blocks away. And she said, how about we put the jail in your neighborhood? And the chairman of the committee did not have an answer for that as well. When you're going to appear on TV for the teleconference, do you have someone that does makeup for you?
No. You know, you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. So it's, you know.
Well, I would never call you that.
You know.
Any animal, although I've had a number of people call me a certain animal, and it starts with a J and has the word horse in it. So then that's another story.
You know, you look at Tazewell County, and they've got, and invariably government seems to expand over time. They need more space. They are doing more things. They, what have you. So Tazewell now is building a new courthouse across the street from the existing courthouse. And as I understand it, it's pretty much going to be the criminal courts building. It's going to be criminal courts, traffic courts, juvenile courts. The civil courts are likely to stay in the old building where the courts are right now. And then on the opposite side of the existing courthouse, you have what they call the McKenzie building, where you have like your county treasurer, your auditor, your county clerk, and recorder of deeds, you know, and you can see, you know, that seems to be very efficient because it gives them now room to expand. I happen to have been a number of times to I'm trying to think what they call it, Government Square. It's in Naples, Florida, Collier County, Florida. And when you drive in there, it's just absolutely gorgeous. They've got a great big parking deck. They've got a county administration building. They've got a county courthouse. They've got the county jail there, all of which are high-rises, all of which are coordinated. They all look alike. It's hard to tell which building. You really got to get up close and read where you're going. But it's also got walkways in case there's storms that are covered, and it makes it really, really efficient, and it's aesthetic. And I'm not saying we up here can afford to go back and redo all the buildings so they're, you know, color coordinated. But I think that there's, with downtown being as it is, I think that if there was expansion, certainly to do it within the, you know, within the
neighborhood,
walking steps, and there's a lot of buildings that are vacant right now that could be retrofit pretty easily to accommodate any expansion right now.
Yeah, you make a good point. And interestingly, I guess the county likes the spreading of governmental accessibility, you might say, because they just built a huge facility on Sheridan Road that I understand is absolutely beautiful, but miles away from the downtown courthouse. I was in Rochester, Minnesota, when my wife was getting radiation treatments at Mayo's, and I visited their county city building, government building, and they had the two entities in the same building. You talk about accessibility. What a great idea that was. And I met with the mayor of Rochester, really a neat guy, and I said, how'd you manage to do that? And he said, well, both parties got together and designed the facility, and both governments are happy that they're working so close together physically, if not intellectually.
Well, you know, I remember Peoria County Courthouse for years. The coroner's office was right there. Next door was the sheriff's office. You had the recorder's office. All on the lower level, the ground level of the courthouse. You had, on the first level, you had the state's attorney, the circuit clerk, I'm trying to think where perhaps the county clerk, and then you started going up to the courtrooms that, you know, some of those courtrooms back in the day were about the size of your studio right here. They were really, really tight. And, now when they built the, I think it was around 91, when they built the new wing of the courthouse, then all the courts are there. Well, and I shouldn't say not all of them. There's a couple that are still left in the old building. But, it's, and I think they frankly need more room right now, to be honest with you. And they do have some vacant offices in the building, but they seem to find occupants for those spaces. For example, the recorder and the county clerk's office merged, so now it's all on the first floor, and that left the recorder's office. It was empty for a while, and now it's the public defender's office, where it used to be the public defender did not have an office in the building because they were considered
outside entity.
They were independent contractors, so to
Yeah.
speak. So, you look at the I still call it the Savings Center Tower. Call it what you want.
That's right. First Federal Savings Tower. You're right.
That building's empty, and it's got a parking deck right there. And would that be nice to have ancillary offices in a place like that?
Not a bad idea, for that matter. Well, it sounds like possibly you might become the county administrator, maybe a city manager. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think you got Patrick and Scott are doing a
They're
marvelous
doing a great job then.
And
Exactly
I don't
You
want.
don't have any interest in it.
I do not. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Yeah, you bet. In closing, any one case you want to talk about?
I really don't. There's been I think things have been kind of quiet the last couple of weeks, but I'm sure that things are going to start up again no matter what, because the cycle of life, the cycle of justice will be what it is, and we'll probably have something to talk about, if not sooner, next Wednesday.
That sounds good. As always, Kevin, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, and we'll talk again next week. In the meantime, have a great day, my friend.
You all do the same.
We'll be back after this message.
I'm the thread that's already inside the house. In the closet, under the bed, in the car. But I don't want your money or your TV. I can't be scared away or negotiated with. I'm patient and quiet. I don't sleep. You can't call the cops on me. You can't even see me. I'm the threat of family fire. And as long as your guns aren't stored securely, I'll be there. Protect your family. Secure all your guns. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
All right, temperature-wise. What do we have temperature-wise, Dave?
Right now, we're looking at 63 degrees in my last check. It's probably climbing
What'd you
since
say?
then.
Say it again.
63, which I think it's climbing. So we're well on our way.
And we're well on the way to hour number 3 of Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WACU FM 90.7 in beautiful Peoria, Illinois. Stay tuned. News, weather, sports coming up next.
We hope you are enjoying Breakfast with Roger and Friends, which is the fastest growing morning show on 90.7 WAZU. And now it can be seen as well as heard on the World Wide Web on YouTube. Savvy business leaders may be interested in sponsorships on Breakfast with Roger and Friends. More information is available from Roger himself. His phone number is 309-397-1458. That's 309-397-1458.
pleasant good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning, the third day of June, and let's take a check of the weather. And the weather is brought to you by Kyle Varnold, Mr. Weather himself, providing personal and business insurance for auto, home, life, and health. Kyle works with multiple companies to find the right policy at the right price for individuals, families, and businesses. And you can reach Kyle today at 309-682-0519. Dave, you have the weather?
It is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Triple W's for a Wednesday, right? Sunny and pleasant today, a high of 86 degrees. Overnight, low of 60. Tomorrow, dawn's sunny and warmer, a high of 88. So 2 really great days here. And then Friday, partly sunny. Look for perhaps in the afternoon those showers moving in with a high of 86. And then Friday night, some showers. Saturday, a high of 88. Saturday and Sunday, a high of 89 with some showers on and off throughout this weekend. Currently, we're on our way to a wonderful Wednesday with a 63 degrees right now.
Yeah, warming up. It's a beautiful day today.
It is.
Now we have the news brought to you by Hines Roofing. They've been repairing and replacing roofs in Central Illinois now for over 33 years. For a no-obligation inspection of your roof, call Doug Hines at 309-672-0910. That's 672-0910. Quality work by quality people. Now with our lead story, here once again is Dave.
Well, they're still talking about a ceasefire between Iran and the United States, but you'd never know it. Both countries traded military action, with Iran coming out in the short end. The Iranians launched a series of drones at U.S. bases in Kuwait and Bahrain. All were destroyed. Different story is U.S. airstrikes did heavy damage on the Iranian-controlled island of Kileon. U.S. forces also hit an oil tanker that ignored warnings as it headed for an Iranian port. It was disabled by a U.S. missile to the engine room.
In this country, voters went to the polls yesterday in 6 states, including Iowa and California. Lots of interest in the race for mayor of Los Angeles and governor in California. Republicans were hoping Steve Hilton would be among the top 2 finishers who would then be on the November ballot. The contest for LA mayor pitted Spencer Pratt of TV fame against incumbent Karen Bass. Here's what we have in the way of results this morning. For governor, in November, it will be Republican Steve Hilton versus Democrat Javier Becerra. In the race for Los Angeles mayor, incumbent Karen Bass will face Spencer Pratt.
And we did look up that Spencer Pratt was on The Hills, the question earlier. What reality show was he? I think our sports department looked that up too.
That doesn't help me at all either.
No, and it's one of those cable shows years ago. Anyway, moving along. Peoria County Sheriff's Department reports the arrest of 44-year-old Josh Coates, also known as Dennis Walker, after he was accused of impersonating a deputy sheriff. Walker allegedly stopped a vehicle last month on Plank Road, not far from the county jail. His vehicle had red and blue blinking lights. Wearing all dark apparel, he demanded the victim's driver's license and said it was outdated, and then tore it up. The victim said he would notify the sheriff's department, which prompted Walker to drive away, and he was arrested later by the real police.
You know, that could be a first clue, because I believe our sheriff's deputies were like a brown.
Yes, brown
It's not a dark thing, so that would have been my second
and
clue.
Blinking or flashing, the lights usually are strobe.
But when you flash blue and red lights, and as you know today, so many police agencies, and particularly state police, are now driving regular vehicles, including pickup trucks, and it's clever on their part, but it also opens the door for imitators. Now, that's rare. It doesn't happen a whole lot. And when a guy's all dressed, you don't know whether that might be a member of the drug enforcement agency that we have as well. They don't wear uniforms.
No.
Yeah, my brother's retired state police, and his cars, as he went higher in the organization, were always like impounded other cars, just plain old cars with lights in the dash, but they were strobe lights, so.
But I think when you see a guy tear it up, suddenly the red light comes on, or the white light, or some light comes on. I don't think that is normal behavior.
Yes.
The quiet central Illinois town of Deer Creek was alive with police activity yesterday afternoon around 1:30. A man was taken into custody after threatening his mother with a knife. When Tazewell County deputies arrived on the scene, the man refused to come out of the house, but eventually surrendered. He faces a number of charges.
It was a well-intentioned good idea by President Trump, but the proposed anti-weaponization fund is now dead. Acting Attorney General Todd Blank told House members that the Justice Department will not move forward with such a fund. Trump wanted to provide money for Republicans who were jailed for demonstrating in the Capitol on January 6, 2021.
However, many Republicans were opposed to the $1.8 billion measure, as were all congressional Democrats. So is U.S. District Judge Leonie Brinkema in Virginia. He slapped a temporary restraining order that blocked using the fund. A Democrat, Brinkema was appointed by President Clinton.
A federal grand jury in North Carolina has indicted former FBI Director James Comey on 2 charges threatening the life of President Donald Trump for allegedly arranging a group of seashells with the symbols 8647. The number of 86 is representative of moving or eliminating a person, and many believe 47 relates to Trump as the 47th President of the United States. Jurors decided Comey, who has a strong dislike for Trump, was pushing for the demise of the president.
The subject has received new interest after Democrat Judge Randy Moss told the National Park Service it could not remove a flag with the same message installed near the National Mall by a hate Trump group. Conservatives have been urged to plant a flag with 86 Moss next to the 8647.
And finally, there's a report that California Governor Gavin Newsom diverted money appropriated to help victims of the 2025 wildfires to fighting ICE agents. Newsom has received criticism along with Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass for slow-walking reconstruction. Newsom used more than $14 million to pay for crowd control at anti-ICE riots.
Yeah,
And those are our headlines.
Well, yeah. What's the problem in California? Apparently, people can't even get a permit to build a new house in the Palisades subdivision or area of Los Angeles. I'm surprised there isn't more outrage over that than worrying about illegal immigrants. California just seems to be all screwed up.
It is messed up.
I have a sister that lives in the state.
Yeah, I
and,
was looking, yeah, you're right about
It's
that.
something else.
Hey, earlier in one of your things, you said voters went to the polls. I noticed we had a lot more people at my house yesterday.
Yeah. Interesting.
When I was a kid, I heard that once on the radio, and I told my mom,
And it's still
people,
stuck
people
there.
are coming to our house.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's
funny.
not the same.
You know, this is a great time of the year to consider buying your next home. Realtor Kathy Reynolds, Home Smart, eager to help you search the marketplace. Kathy, experienced and has helped countless couples, families, and individuals find their dream home. She's available to discuss the exciting opportunities that are available today at 309-696-2162. That's 309-696-2162. Now more news from WCBU. Rich, are you there?
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Rich Drager. It was once again a late night, passing a $56 billion state budget this week after lawmakers missed the midnight May 31st deadline. The budget then required a 2/3 majority to pass. Republican State Representative Ryan Spain says he had good talks with Democrats, but there were still last-minute amendments that Republicans did not have enough time to properly read.
We've had much better communication this session about the contours of the budget, and I hope it leads to better conversations.
The budget passed largely along party lines. State lawmakers ended their spring legislative session without delivering anything to keep the Chicago Bears in Illinois. Mawa Iqbal reports from Springfield.
It was a chaotic and bitter end to a 3-year legislative push by the Bears. After floating Hammond as a potential site for a new domed stadium, the team will now have to make clear whether that's a real possibility or a bluff. The Senate and House couldn't agree on a package to entice the Bears to build in Arlington Heights. Here's House Speaker Chris Welch.
We'll continue discussions on a number of issues, including our approach to the Bear Stadium question this summer.
The Bears sounded none too happy at that, saying it would stick to its own timeline and make a decision on where to build by early summer. I'm Mawa Iqbal.
Farmers in the U.S. face one of the highest suicide rates of any occupation. The Farm Family Resource Initiative from Southern Illinois University is offering individual counseling and support groups for farmers and their families. Mental health specialist Rachel Brown says people who are seeking support can connect with qualified professionals.
These professionals who are trained in mental health, but they also understand agriculture and they understand farming.
The statewide initiative also includes a 24/7 crisis helpline. The number connects farmers and their families with agriculture-related resources in their area and no-cost counseling sessions. From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Rich Drager.
All right, Rich, thank you much. Let's turn to the world of sports, and Tyrus Kileon is here. Good morning. By the way, before you get into sports, where do you think the Bears will wind up with their stadium? You think it'll be in Arlington Heights in Illinois or Hammond, Indiana? What's your answer, sports guy?
Well, since they've been battling Illinois for, 5 years now.
Yeah.
Not looking too good there on that front. So it might be over there in Indiana, which is 20 minutes from the city of Chicago, 20 to 30 maybe, depending on.
So you think it's going to be the Chicago Bears in Hammond, Indiana? As we saw on the program before, many of the teams, like the Giants, they're not in New York.
They're not. They're in New Jersey.
The Meadowlands.
They're in New Jersey.
And in the Dallas Cowboys aren't in Dallas.
Nope.
So that wouldn't be unusual. Would
No, it
Wouldn't
wouldn't
be the Chicago, be the Arlington Heights Bears if they were staying in Illinois. My concern also is that mega projects bill.
Yeah.
Because it's tied to it. If they end up staying here in Illinois, we've opened a Pandora's box because anybody downstate, if they want to build something big, that'll cost too. So if they
there won't be anything downstate. We don't have the votes. Everything circulates around Chicago Democrats. Anybody who thinks that we have a voice are whistling Dixie. For that matter.
Exactly.
I don't think they're going to let the Bears get out of Illinois, but wouldn't be the first time that Illinois screwed up.
Right, exactly. They've been messing with them for 5 years.
5 years,
right?
as
I
you
wonder if the
said.
Bears will move their timeline. They said that they wanted the decision quickly, so it's up to them. The ball's in their court.
Well, we
I
barely know the answer.
That's true. We don't know.
The ball is in the end zone?
Yeah.
Football, yeah.
Okay. Well, what do you have for sports?
Yeah, so they'll still be Chicago regardless. It doesn't really
I
matter.
think you're right. I think
It's just
they'll
where
be
they play. They'll
yeah.
probably still have the,
the Peoria Stadium is available.
Yeah.
There you go.
And Woodruff Field down on the riverfront.
Hey, we've got a dome now in the stadium. So
Yeah, you do, right?
We're
hey.
halfway there.
Oh, my.
Today's capacity for the Bears playing the Los Angeles Rams, 175. We're packed. Full house.
Hit kickoff. Just don't kick it too high. We don't put a hole in the dome.
Just keep it low.
Yeah.
That means you can't throw a sky ball in there. No, it'll hit the roof. Caleb will probably throw a hole through the roof. Thanks, Roger. Let's start with the Peoria sports news. Peoria Chiefs at 25-27 played today at 6:35 p.m. with the Beloit Sky Carp of the affiliate of the Miami Marlins. It is game 2 of their 6-game home series. You can also bring your dog to this game or tomorrow's game, starting at 6:35 p.m.
Those games will be a real dogfight, won't they?
Oh yeah, bark, bark, bark. MLB news: the Cubs at 32-29 lose to the A's at 2-1. They look to tie the series up at 1 apiece with a win tonight at 7:05 p.m.
All right, for 10 points, name the Athletics home field.
Oh, it's some minor league park.
Well, it's a big city, though. So
down there.
I want the city's name because it isn't the park where they play. I'm asking is, what city are they playing out of now in California?
Well, Las Vegas. No.
10 points. Do you know, Dave? Dave doesn't know.
Where
Terry, you know. I know. You got that smug look on your face.
Where they're playing. Where the A's are playing.
Anaheim?
No?
talking about used to be the Oakland.
Well, they used to be the Oakland Athletics,
No,
but now
that isn't
they're
the question, sir. That isn't the question.
I'm getting a reference. That's who the team you're talking
Yes,
about?
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
I forgot the question already.
All right, I'll help you out. What's the capital of California?
Sacramento.
Oh, it's
it
the
is.
Sacramento A's. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
well, you got it.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's where they're
But
playing.
soon to be, well, not soon, eventually will be the Los Angeles A's.
Oh.
I mean,
lucky.
Las Vegas. Sorry,
Las Vegas A's.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But right now they're in Sacramento.
they're in Sacramento.
Sacramento.
No, right now they're in Chicago.
That's
You know,
beating them.
two weak teams playing each other.
Yeah. And
In other sports
beat 'em last
news-
night 2-1. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Cubs hope for not another series loss. Anyways, the Cardinals at 31-28 lost last night to the Rangers 7-4, and will look to avoid a sweep at home at 6:45 p.m. White Sox at 32-29 lost to the Twins yesterday 6-4. Will look to avoid the sweep today at 12:40 p.m. The Yankees at 36-24 lose 9-4 to the Guardians last night. Look to tie the series up at 1 apiece tonight at 6:05 p.m. The Phillies at 31-29 beat the Padres 3-2 and go for the series win tonight at 5:40 p.m. In the NHL, it's the Stanley Cup Finals between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Vegas Golden Knights. The Golden Knights took Game 1 yesterday by a score of 5-4. They play tomorrow at 7 p.m. The NBA Finals start tonight also at 7:30 p.m. It is the San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks. They play Game 1 in San Antonio. The WNBA, the Indiana Fever, are 4-4 and play the Atlanta Dream tomorrow at 6 p.m. The Chicago Sky 3-6. 5-game losing streak. Lost to the Washington Mystics last night, 90-72. Next game Friday at 6:30 versus the Connecticut Sun. They got to get back on track here. I mean, they've had some injuries and all that. So
I get the impression you follow the WNBA.
I do now a little bit.
Sorry to hear that.
But you got to give some of the women's sports some love, you know. So that's why I you know.
Well, everybody needs love.
That's right.
Even the WNBA.
That's right. You know, it's not too bad, honestly. I mean, the Fever are fun to watch, and
you actually watch the games?
I've seen them.
Okay.
A couple. I don't watch them all the time.
Dave,
but
have you watched the game? You have?
Yeah, I mean,
All
I
right.
think I'd agree with Tyrus. The WNBA is definitely on its way.
It's getting up there now,
Yeah, it really
you know.
Well, when you're in the last place, you have nowhere to go but up.
But up. That's right.
You know, when you don't have anybody attending the games, and of course you put it on TV, and that helps attendance.
That's true. They do have more fans than they have in past years. So.
Yeah.
I remember this past year going to see some of the Bradley women's basketball games,
Yeah.
and their accuracy from the field, they're amazing.
They are amazing.
I mean-
Yes, they are. But nobody's coming out to watch women's basketball, college basketball. I will say in the Big Ten, they do a pretty good job of supporting women's basketball. Bradley has a long way to go to get fans
right.
And by the way, one of the ways you do is start winning. Start having
that
a
helps.
winning. That does help. Just like the Chiefs. I'm sure the attendance is down. They're not having a good year this year, the Peoria Chiefs.
No.
I tell you, a night at the ballpark, that's a good ballpark.
Oh, it is, and the food is great.
It really is.
The environment, the
They do a
stadium
great
is
job of promoting
one of the best minor league teams in the country.
Well,
So
and they
Fields,
moved up. They
Fields.
moved up one of the Cardinals' top prospects too. He's a
yeah. Oh.
yeah, Rodriguez. He's already off the Chiefs and up
He's in
already.
Memphis now, isn't he?
Or double
He's
A.
gone
Double
from
A,
the Chiefs. He went,
Yeah,
went to
he already moved up, so everybody missed out on that.
High double A, they did. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes they bring down
good
somebody
for
to
him.
rehab here in Peoria. and
Oh,
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. So,
NFL. Oh, you're good.
No, I was going to say in other news.
Okay. NFL news. Big trade, I would say. Win-win for both teams. The Browns and the Rams. The Browns traded Myles Garrett to the Rams for young star Jared Verse and first-round pick in 2027, second-round pick in 2028, and a third-rounder in 2029. They shed his big contract off their team and get a younger star for their young team. They actually had one of the better defenses last year, and they'll all grow together, I guess, and we'll see what happens with the Browns. But the Rams sure got better. I'll tell you what. Also, I got some Chicago Bears news because something broke.
I can't wait.
Something broke at about 7:30.
Our inquiring minds want to know.
All right, what do you have?
Caleb Williams just officially became the cover athlete for this year's Madden 27 video game, full release on August 13. It is the first Bears player to be on the cover of that game.
Exciting.
So
cover what? Playboy or Girl? What
No,
cover are you
of,
talking about?
Madden.
What, magazine?
Yeah.
Popular Mechanics?
No, it's Madden. It's a video game.
Oh,
The graphics on
that's
that are
something I
amazing.
play every day.
Yes, something you play every day, but no, it's just the popular, one of the most popular video games.
Do you play video games?
I have, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
Well, you're a young thing.
Not a whole lot anymore, really. But
Well, go ahead. We'll give you permission.
yeah, and then horse racing, the Belmont Stakes is this Saturday at 6:04 p.m.
Do we know the name of the horses, Terry? Do you have?
No.
No.
I
How many
couldn't
are
tell
from
you.
the Preakness going to be there, or the Derby?
Well, I think the winner of the
Yeah,
Kentucky
the Triple
Derby
Crown,
didn't.
they win all three.
Well, the winner didn't. The winner retired.
Yeah.
He didn't.
I don't
They didn't run
No,
that in the
He
Preakness.
didn't retire. They just didn't run him in the.
They didn't
Yeah,
run him in the
that's right.
Preakness, so there's
last
going
we
to
saw
be no
him,
Triple Crowner.
He was at Elmer's Glue.
Oh, jeez.
No, we had discussion about that. They use them for stud purposes.
They do.
Make millions of dollars.
Yes.
You know what? I think Secretariat was one of the only horses that was buried
Alive?
No, not
Standing
buried
up?
alive. No, it wasn't. It was full body. He got his own
Yeah. He's,
casket, but I don't think
His
he wasn't
own
standing
mausoleum?
up.
Kind of.
That's yeah.
I think he was laid down, and then they. Oh yeah, no, they dug that thing. But
Well, I'll look it up.
Yeah.
anyways,
So are you saying Secretary is at Springdale?
No,
I forget where it's at.
He's probably
but,
somewhere in
No,
Kentucky.
that's one of your
Back home in
greatest
back
racehorses
home in
right there. If you
Kentucky.
wanna
Well, we'll look
talk
it
about
up. Any other sports news?
No,
No, that's
I mean,
it?
I can get you some Peoria.
Spent a lot of time horsing around.
I can get
Yeah, that's what I'm
you
saying.
some Peoria soccer thing.
Well, what is a Peoria soccer thing?
So,
Stay on microphone.
yeah. So
Okay.
it was the girls' soccer team.
Yes.
So Ava Lafayette. Yeah, she had back-to-back 50-goal seasons for Peoria Notre Dame. So that's one of the best
That's pretty impressive.
high school
Did you go
careers.
for an overseas sort of thing?
Yeah.
Camp or something like that?
Yeah.
Speaking of
she's really good.
Speaking of girls, I went to a game last night in Bartonville by the library there, and they have several diamonds. And these were for little girls 5 and 6 years old.
Oh yeah.
And it was funny on the one hand, on the other hand, I said, "Is this what we've come to?" I mean, little girls, when they go in the field, they start playing in the dirt. They have no idea what's going on at bat. And the little girls that come to bat have no idea where the ball is. And they were swinging sometimes before the
T-ball or
well, they did have pitchers,
okay.
but after they would swing and miss, I think the count was 9 times without hitting the ball. Then one of the adults gets a T-ball, and the good thing about being there is that they play 1 hour. That's it. And the game is over. But
tie game every time.
Every player, every one of the little girls got to bat at least twice.
Well, that's good.
And it was.
But it's all chaos.
Yes, yeah, it's a good way to put it.
Every time for a little kid sport, especially baseball or softball or whatever they're doing.
They all score. They all score. They just run after each other, and
everybody wins.
It is one of those cases where it's and the parents and the grandparents come out with their lawn chairs, and they're going to watch kids playing like they do in high school, or even 8 to 10-year-olds, but 5 to 6 is almost. Well, I'll leave it at that.
Yes,
it was interesting.
Scouting a 5-year-old game.
Yeah. In the meantime,
really,
it is 8:25, and here's our pet tip of the day with Louis Linder.
Today's pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Did you know the nose pad of a cat is rigid in a pattern that is unique, just like the fingerprint of a human? That makes them individuals just like us. But they are creatures of habit, so if you are housebreaking a cat, here is something you should know. You control the feeding, so you can control the eliminating. Cats will usually need the litter box 15 minutes after eating. Place the litter box in a room where you can close the door. After she eats, take her to the room and close her in. She will have no choice but to use the box and win your praise. If you want her to go outside, take her out at the appropriate time, and when she completes her duty, praise her lavishly. If you are consistent and watchful, you can teach your cat to go to the box or outside very quickly. A few weeks of this, and she will have it down pat. If your cat does mess in the wrong place, do scrub the area well, but don't use Lysol. That's right. It's an attractant to a cat. If you need to eliminate a urine odor, there are several products on the market that do this very well. You can find them at any good pet supply store. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSVR Studios. Theme music by Stuardo Glasser and produced by Isla Bystrom-Williams.
Today's pet tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
That was interesting. All our pet tips are very interesting. Our thanks to Peoria Pet Crematory for making it possible to air these friendly tips. And it talked about training cats to go here, to go there, or whatever. You know, I've got the Scottish Terrier. I've had Scottish Terriers for, I think, a total of 4, maybe even 5 for that matter. And the one I've got now he's a mental case. I mean, seriously, this dog is not housebroken. And he's 8 years old. And we reached the point, first of all, it was very difficult in the beginning. But after, I think, 3 years, maybe 4 years, he finally got the message. The house the laminated flooring in my house is not designed as a restroom for you, pal. And you go outside. And my patio is concrete, and then I had a nice rocky area, and then a nice lawn area. That dog, even when he's outside, he has no idea that do it in the grass. And I've even thought about buying artificial poop and help him understand so that wherever he goes, he would step in it. And, well, you know what? I guess this is where I'm supposed to go for that matter. So he doesn't, when he doesn't do it in the house, I put him outside for 3 days, maybe, and I've threatened to do it, but I wouldn't do it because I love the dog. And so he does it on the patio. He doesn't do it in the gravel or the rock area, and doesn't do it in the yard. And I have a friend, you know who the friend is, has a little dog. And that dog is well trained. It's supposed to know. And I want the dog to come over and have a heart-to-heart talk. I thought about putting them in a kennel together and let my friend's dog talk to my dog and say, hey, they're really getting upset at you, so quit dumping in the kitchen, okay? What's left? You have, both of you, all three of you have had, and either have or have pets. How in the world do you get a dog that's 8 years old? They say you can't teach an old dog tricks, new tricks at any rate. How do you get this dog to stop dumping in my house?
First thing you do is been to the vet, and has they been checked for like UTIs and?
Well, that's a good point.
Right.
Well, that I understand with the urination issue, but the other number two is a different story.
Behavioral. Our dog has done that a few times too, and a lot of times it's kind of behavioral, like, okay, have they been out? What are they stressed about, nervous, that type of thing. But I agree with you, the vet thing. Our dog has done that a few times, and that's not natural, and it usually is if we're gone for a little bit of time. She takes umbrage with where we've been.
Oh yes.
They let you know in no uncertain terms.
They do, and you listen to like
I
Jackson.
can't yell at you, but I can poop on your carpeting.
Yes,
Yeah.
I will show you that I'm displeased.
Yeah. We are not amused.
The cat behavior say, oh, they don't have to spray. Oh, yes, they do.
Okay.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
I just wouldn't even have carpet.
They do understand. I know my dog understands, and one of the pet tips is when you catch your dog doing bad things, you go, and I've done that, and next thing you know, I've got to go to the bathroom. So that hasn't worked. But it's really, frankly speaking, I know we joke about it, it's frustrating.
It is.
Because, when I got a kennel that he is happy to go inside for the night, so I don't worry about what he's going to do overnight. Because, interestingly, he's intelligent enough and advanced enough not to, in his own bed, type of thing. But frankly speaking, it's frustrating because he's 8 years old. My goodness gracious. Wise up, dog.
My boxer is 7, and she, a lot of times, will look at. She's the sweetest dog. She'll look at you. Yeah, I didn't do that. I don't know who you're talking.
Well, maybe you can try to have the other dog. They just hang out and have them go outside together.
Yeah.
And then, that might spark something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
At any rate, what's happening is I'm seeing a therapist now.
Help you cope with that dog. now.
I don't have the problem. He does,
Yeah,
but I
exactly.
need to go to a doctor or a counselor or whatever the case may be. No, I like to say I grin and bear it. I don't grin, but I bear it. And pick the stuff up, clean it up, and move on, and hope that someday, somehow, some way, the dog will get the message. But you're right. We'll have to bring in the little dog and hope that the little dog will get him to do what he needs to do. And that comes even though when I lay down pads, you can buy pads, and he still ignores us. That's not for me. That's for that little dog that comes over every now and then. All right, let's do our final newscast of the morning. Finding the right home care team can be a challenge, but not if you choose Spoon River Home Health. That's the company founded by registered nurses more than 30 years ago. If you or someone you know is in need of loving care in the home, the staff of Spoon River stands ready to meet that need. Here's a phone number at Spoon River, 309-245-0723. 245-0723. Here's Terry.
They're still talking about a ceasefire between Iran and the United States, but you'd never know it. Both countries traded military action, with Iran coming out on the short end. The Iranians launched a series of drones at U.S. bases in Kuwait and Bahrain. All were destroyed. Different story as U.S. airstrikes did heavy damage on the Iranian-controlled island of Kisham. U.S. forces also hit an oil tanker that ignored warnings as it headed for an Iranian port. It was disabled by a U.S. missile to the engine room. In this country, voters went to the polls yesterday in 6 states, including Iowa and California. Lots of interest in the race for mayor of Los Angeles and governor in California. Republicans were hoping Steve Hilton would be among the top 2 finishers, who would then be on the November ballot. The contest for LA mayor pitted Spencer Pratt of TV fame against incumbent Karen Bass. Here's what we have in the way of results this morning. For governor, in November, it will be Republican Steve Hinton versus Democrat Javier Becerra. And in the race for mayor, incumbent Karen Bass will be running against Spencer Pratt. The Peoria County Sheriff's Department reports the arrest of 44-year-old Josh Coates, also known as Dennis Walker, after he was accused of impersonating a deputy sheriff. Walker allegedly stopped a vehicle last month on Plank Road, not far from the county jail. His vehicle had red and blue blinking lights. Wearing all dark apparel, he demanded the victim's driver's license, said it was outdated, and tore it up. The victim said he would notify the sheriff's department, which prompted Walker to drive away. He was arrested later by the real police. The quiet central Illinois town of Deer Creek was alive with police activity yesterday afternoon around 1:30. A man was taken into custody after threatening his mother with a knife. When Tazewell County deputies arrived on the scene, the man refused to come out of the house. But eventually he surrendered. He now faces a whole lot of charges. The President Trump proposed anti-weaponization fund is now dead. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanke told House members that the Justice Department will not move forward with such a fund. Trump wanted to provide money for Republicans who were jailed for demonstrating in the Capitol January 6, 2021. But even some Republicans were opposed to the $1.8 billion measure, as were Democrats. So is U.S. District Judge Leone Brinkema in Virginia. He issued a temporary restraining order that blocked the fund. Judge Brinkema was appointed by President Clinton. And those are the headlines, Roger.
All right, thank you kindly. Now check of the weather. Dave has the weather brought to you by Bob Manning, Senior Vice President, Financial Advisor. Bob is with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley for all your investment needs. Check out Bob Manning. You can reach him at 309-671-4653. And remember, Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. Dave.
Well, if you haven't noticed already, we're well on our way to a sunny and pleasant day. It's a great-looking Wednesday out there with a high of 86 degrees expected. Tonight, an overnight low of 60. Tomorrow, looking sunny and warmer, a high 88 as those good vibes keep a-flowing. Friday dawns partly sunny, and then look for some afternoon showers moving in with a high of 86 degrees, and then rain coming in Friday night. Much-needed rain, I might add. Saturday and Saturday night and Sunday, a high of Saturday of 88 and a high of Sunday of 89. And currently, we are all the way up to 70 wonderful Wednesday degrees.
Yeah. Do you feel there's some humidity in the air?
You know what? I was thinking last night, that's a good thing you said that. I was sitting on my deck, and I'm thinking, it feels amazing. And the humidity's low because the corn hasn't grown yet. Once you get the crops growing in around us, that's when that humidity starts.
The corn sweat.
Yeah.
Corn sweat. There we go.
Yeah, is that what you call it, for that matter?
Yes.
You know, one of the subjects that has reached a national level and is being discussed, pro and con, unfortunately the con I don't quite understand it, is the celebration of our 250th anniversary, which should not be partisan, unless it's partisan in love of this great country we live in. And if you don't like it, instead of trying to change it and overthrow it, and whatever term you want to use, love this country. This country's great. I had the pleasure of serving in the military in Germany and Europe, and I got the opportunity to travel to a lot of countries, the Scandinavian countries, and France and Belgium, and as well as Germany and England. And I still believe, particularly after having that experience, that there's no better place in the world to live than right here. We got our problems, no question, so does every country. But what I'm leading up to is the fact that there have been a couple of concerts planned coming up shortly, music concerts to celebrate the United States of America. And now some entertainers who originally said, yeah, I'll be there, are pulling out because they apparently don't like Donald Trump. This isn't about Donald Trump, and this is about celebrating the founding of this country 250 years ago. And it is hard for me to understand. And we all happen to, as it turns out, know someone who's had the pleasure of singing the praises of this country not once but 3 times in the White House and in other locations, including Ground Zero. And that's our dear friend Kathy Reynolds, who's on the line this morning. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning.
Tell everybody.
Good to talk to you.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's so good to talk to you guys. It's so my favorite Wednesday people.
Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's right.
You're our favorite Wednesday caller.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, that's right.
I love it.
Yeah, exactly right. Tell everybody some of the places that, as a gospel singer and as a mother of 3 sons, 2 of whom served at the same time in Iraq, where you've had the opportunity, I think you would call it wonderful opportunities in your singing career.
Well, every place that I go, I just thank God for. It's just all a blessing, and sometimes I just can't even believe I get to go to the places that I go to. But it's just being at the army bases and being able to honor the men and women when they come home, from wherever they are, has just been a wonderful gift. And no matter where I go, no matter who is in charge or who is the president of the United States, it's always been an honor to go. I don't understand why these people should even question. It's our differences that make this country great. It's the fact that we do have differences, that our forefathers set things the way that they are to be. But whoever your president is, even in the Bible it says we must pray for our leaders. And anybody who would not do something because of who is in charge has not been taught the respect that we have always throughout history been taught. And it makes me sad for our children and grandchildren and our futures that they don't understand authority. And it's whatever your politics are. The President of the United States deserves respect. I have gone to the White House with both in party, with it being a Democrat or Republican, and I'll tell you what, that just hearing their voice is it's such an honor. I'm so sorry. Get me on my rant, because I don't understand how anybody can have the feeling of hate just because somebody has a difference of opinion. It's bad enough we've grown up in a country that there's been times where you hate because somebody has a different color. I mean, my word. None of us have exactly the same skin color. I mean, and the same type of voice. That's why I wrote the little kids book about little Mike taking a hike. He doesn't like the cat because he sounds different and looks different. And you had to learn that, hey, that could be your best friend. Why are you sitting in judgment? And so that's my rant. You're going to get me going.
Yeah, you did have an opportunity almost face-to-face with President Clinton, as I recall. What were the circumstances in that instance?
Well, we were down in the green room, and it's down at kind of like a winding stairs from the hallway. And it's just so cool to even just be in there. And anyway, he opens up the door and he goes, "Hey, how you doing down there?"
Like a father yelling to the kids in the basement, it almost sounded like. And he had a big, bright smile on his face, I think you shared with me.
Oh, it was really something. And just to be a part of it, whether I voted for him or not, he's a human being and deserves honor and respect. You know, and it's like, okay, so they do something you don't like. Now, you know what? We're all sinners. And we all do things that people don't like.
Yeah.
Does that mean you're supposed to try to find a way to kill them? I mean, no. What's this world doing? Stop it.
What did it feel like to be in the White House? I mean, just walking into the house had to be really a thrill, if not raise goosebumps on you. Certainly very exciting.
Bring some tears, I'll tell you. And it's like, okay, let's ruin the makeup now that can stop it. So it was just such an honor to be in a place with such history. And I loved every second.
Yeah. And tell
it
us,
even smells different. It's just irreverent.
yeah. And you sang at Ground Zero. Describe the circumstances that brought you to New York City.
Well, I was singing at the first time that the wall for the Vietnam Wall went out. It had a big service at the Palace Theater in Branson, Missouri. And I got to sing the gospel songs for it. And one of the men that was there as a chaplain was, he was a very special man from Minnesota. I can't remember. Michigan. And anyway, so he was there, and he was the speaker and the chaplain for the service. And he just was just the neatest guy, and he really liked one of the songs that I did very, very much. So when they got ready to do the service for the groundbreaking, before they had that service, they had all of the iron workers all across the United States and Canada, 2 from every single union, came and represented the iron workers, and then the policemen and the firemen, and they all were to meet at Ground Zero, and they drove there on Harley Davidsons. There was like 300 of them on these Harley Davidsons motorcycles going through Manhattan, coming, meeting at Ground Zero, and you could hear them from way away. It was so cool. But anyway, he said if he was going to be there and be the chaplain for that service, he wanted to make sure that I got to sing the national anthem. And the mayor told him, whatever you think. I mean, we got a lot of people on Broadway here. So instead of picking one of those wonderful, wonderful singers, they picked corn-fed Xathy from the middle of the country. And so, anyway, when he called and told me, I about passed out. But I was like, yes, I'll be there. So got to go, and we were standing there as the people came down on the motorcycles, and they lined up, and then they got off of the motorcycles and all surrounded the area of Ground Zero, and they had special speakers that would talk about the different things that were going on with the people. The iron workers were so important because they were the ones who knew where the pockets would be in the buildings so that they could go in and rescue people. And so, but they were running in and pulling out people one after the other without masks. So now all these iron workers are being treated for cancer and dying at huge number of rates. And their insurance companies were denying their insurance because they went in without masks and protective gear, gas masks and things to protect themselves. I mean, you got people being buried alive. Who's going to say, I'm not going without a mask? So anyway, it was kind of sad to listen to some of the stories, but just to sing that national anthem while my 2 sons were serving in the war for it was just one of the most amazing moments of my life, to just look out over that area and just to sing our nation's song. I'm sorry, I got a little upset about that this morning. But it was just wonderful. And I thank God every day that I got that opportunity. I'll never, ever get past that feeling.
Yeah, and it's amazing that you also sang at a number of military bases as part of your career. I think you mentioned Fort Jackson. How did you happen? Is that where your sons were? How did you happen to wind up singing at some of the bases?
So when the 101st Airborne came back to Fort Campbell, they had a special service for them, and they allowed me to come in and sing. I think I sang like 4 songs, and one of them was my freedom flag song, because it was being that, you know, people who had lost their lives and in battle, and it was, what an honor that was to stand there and look at all these beautiful soldiers, and to be able to do that was such an honor too. And then to be at Fort Stewart, even when they come home, and you know, they were the first to get off of, you know, come out of Iraq when the war ended, and so, well, when they were at the point where they could bring them home. And that's where the tank drivers were, the 3rd ID, and to see them get off of the buses and then march across the entire field to come over to the area where all the parents and people were guests of honor, and so they stood there as the different speakers would speak, and the poor things had to be just exhausted. I mean, all of them so skinny, and so anyway, then when they released us, they said, okay, soldiers, you can see your families, and the families just took off running at the kids, and it's like you didn't know where to look because they all looked the same in their uniforms. And so anyway, it was so neat because, you know, you get your kids and they pick you up, swing you around like rag dolls, and it was just so amazing a moment to be able to be a part of that, and then to sing for them, oh my. It was something else.
Yeah. Tell us the 2 sons that served in Iraq, not together separately, which is kind of interesting development, but do you remember what Nick did in Iraq and what Shane did, your other son?
So, yes, they were constantly looking for each other because the 3rd ID, of course, those are the tank drivers, and the 101st Airborne, they were the lookout. So they were, as they went in to take the airport in Baghdad, Shane was the first tank on the runway as they came in, and Nick was inside the building. Well, so they're trying to see each other at the same time as trying to stay alive, and they couldn't find each other. So as they went on into the palace in Baghdad, they looking for each other. They can't find each other. And now it took a little while for it to happen, but by the time I'm getting letters from both of them, it's, I can't find my brother. I don't know what to do. I'm afraid he's been shot. And my panic is that the 2 of them trying to worry about each other are going to end up in harm's way. So I called Ray LaHood, bless his heart, and I told him, I said, I need to somehow get a message to them to stop worrying about each other and just stay alive. And so he says, oh, I know what we'll do. We'll call the Red Cross and see what they can do. So he got them on the line, and we're all talking, and they said, well, let's just get them a telegram, you know, about this. So they said, we'll take care of it. Well, apparently, both of them worried about each other being alive, receive a telegram. Now, what does a telegram usually mean?
Yeah, that's throwing gasoline on the fire.
I know. So, anyway, it was so funny because finally they did work crossing each other. Now, they didn't get to actually, you know, embrace, but as Nick was in one of the big transfer trucks as they were going by, Shane had come out of his tank and was walking, and Nick recognized that, and he like yelling, but he couldn't get out because the truck was moving, and Shane couldn't go after him because, hey, a tank. And so, although it was really fun for Shane because as they were going down the street, there was a car in the way, and Shane said, please, let me. And they said, okay. So he got to run over it. And he said, first off, the tank was going up the side of that car, and he was nothing but air. And then, boom, it crushed that car, and away he went.
That's interesting. Fun.
So he had some fun moments. But as soon as Shane got home first, when I went out to get him, he swings me around, and he's like, I just couldn't even believe he could because he was so skinny. And then he takes me on, hits me on the side of the head, and he goes, what were you thinking? Sending him a telegram. But Shane said he put it in his pocket, and he couldn't even read it until that night when his buddy took it out of his pocket for him and read it to him. So, and he was so relieved. And Nick did the same thing. He didn't want to read it either.
Yeah, it is actually turned out to be a funny story, but what you went through and what they went through is something else.
You know, nobody should take for granted a veteran ever, because what the families go through. I mean, just listening to my son's little boy at 4 saying, "Please, Daddy, don't leave. I promise I'll be good." You know, they just don't have a clue what they go through. And there they are in harm's way trying to stay alive, and all they can think of is keep their families and how they miss them. And the family, I couldn't watch the news because you just see too much, and I just didn't want to think about my precious kids being involved in it. So, but thank you, Lord, they came home, they're alive. You know, Nick jumped out of a few too many planes, so he's got a few issues, but he's okay.
Yeah. And so's their mother, Kathy
And
Reynolds.
so is Shane. He's got issues too, bless his heart. When they had a big sandstorm, they all had sand blew into their eyes and everything, and then they come under attack. So they jumped in the tanks and were going. Well, the medics were there trying to clean out the different ones' eyes. Well, Shane, you couldn't because he's driving. So his corneas got all scratched up and everything. So that was kind of hard on him. But you know, they saw so much, and any of them in war. You know, bless their hearts. You see a veteran, just run up and hug them and tell them thanks for their service. That's all I got to say about it. You know, I'm done singing now.
Well, God bless you for what you have done, what your sons have gone through. I will say this, if you have things in your eyes and you're having a hard time seeing, it helps to be driving a tank. Because no matter what you run into, they're gonna lose. Well, I know you love this country and you love singing about this country as you have done and continue to do over the many years, and where you've been and what you've done pays tribute to your love of country and certainly the love of your sons, all three of them for that matter. Kathy Reynolds, thanks. Any final thoughts as we close our conversation and the program for that matter this morning, Kathy Reynolds?
Yes, if you don't mind, I'm going to just say one more little rant. People, we are told to love each other, embrace each other's differences, and stop hating each other for things that are ridiculous. Just know every one of you are made so special and so perfect, and if you were anything different, you couldn't even be used. So you be you, but let them be them. God bless you all.
And we'll close. Kathy Reynolds, and God bless the USA. Thanks, Kathy. God bless you.
Thanks. I love you guys.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my family by my side, I'd thank my God above to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. Well, Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt